Is this thing on? What's up, babies? Welcome to another episode of Dumb Blonde. Today, I have a woman who is so inspiring, so beautiful inside and out, so tenacious. Your story is just fascinating the more that I have gotten to be able to just deep dive into it. And I'm so excited that you are sitting here on my couch, Miss Kimberly Jones, baby.
I'm so honored to be here.
I was just telling you a second ago that you are my first pastor.
I am shook.
I have had psychics on here. I have had, I'm talking like I have had health nuts. I have had everybody, but I have never sat down with a woman of the word.
What made you want to do that?
You know, so when I first started this podcast, my two top people that I wanted on my podcast was Dolly Parton and Joyce Myers. I am a huge Joyce Myers fanatic.
Really?
Crazy, right? Everybody so I grew up in a really strict Southern Pentecostal home.
No.
I went to Christian school. I went to Bible camps. I mean, like, it's crazy with my background that I came from. But long story short, my father was a rocker. Mom was a stripper. Mom left me at 3 months. Dad married, cheated on the mom, my stepmom, and then had to get into religion to prove that he was going to be able to make it in the marriage or whatever. Yeah. And then we became like a cult. So it was crazy. So I say all that to say that when I wanted Joyce Myers on, she is the only woman pastor that I would ever listen to because I'm always so scared of who you invite into your life. Yeah. And in the past year, I started listening to you because I did see one of your reels on I think it was either Facebook or Instagram. And I was like, who is this woman? Because she talks just like me. She's sassy and she has so much fire, which is like, I love Joyce, but she's, for the older generation. She's very modest, And I was like, I love this because this woman speaks my language. And then I just started diving into you and I was like, I need this woman on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, Bunnie.
I'm so excited to have you here.
That does so much to my heart.
Aww.
Because, being a woman pastor, I get a lot of flack from even the church world,
That's
because
crazy.
I'm in their face and, but I'm not judgmental and they want me to be judgmental.
Yes.
They want me to send people to hell and and because I don't, to hear that God has allowed me to be used, and it is. I mean, this is the greatest honor ever for me. This is exactly what I want.
Aww.
I don't want to be in a church doing that stuff. I want to be right here.
Yeah, no, and I love that. And I love that you are so non-judgmental because I base my entire platform on not judging anybody.
Yes.
And I have been persecuted.
Yes.
Because I just want to show everybody in the world that no matter how terrible of a human you might be to the world, you still deserve love. And that's what you preach too.
Well, and Bunnie, you look at God. I mean, I guess because I was raised just like you, and that's so funny.
Oh, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, yeah.
And
we have a lot of similarities,
yes.
and even down to the 3 marriages, girl.
What?
I didn't even bat an eyelash when I heard that about you. I was like, oh, this is my girl.
And the church world asked me, they were like, why do you talk about that? Why do you tell that? I'm like, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, it's part of your story.
Why waste my hell?
What's tea for them is testimony for you. Always.
Well, I was, what was I telling you?
We were talking, I don't even know. I'm just so excited to have you here. We have started this off great.
I love this so much.
So, okay, the one thing that everybody zeroes in on you is your marriages. And I don't want to do that with you.
Yeah.
Because, and of course, we are going to talk about them because it is part of your life. But I truly believe that people are influenced as children to make the decisions that they make as an adult.
Yeah.
And anytime I hear an interview with you or I hear you talk about your childhood, you kind of gloss over it and don't really talk in depth about it. I might have missed it somewhere,
You're right.
but I don't really get to hear the meat and potatoes of what made you the woman you are that did make these mistakes and that, that you've now learned from.
Yeah.
So you talked about your mom and your dad being super religious. Can we start there? And
yes.
Take me on that journey.
So I remember when I was, right when my mom had me, we were in Jacksonville, North Carolina. We were preaching a revival. My dad was like this fire preacher. He would like jump out of balconies and roll and walk on seats and pews. But he was so, so, so strict. And I just remember even as a little girl, I know that God knew that at about 43, I was going to hit rock bottom and find out who the rock is at the bottom. Now, I hit rock bottom a whole bunch.
Yeah.
But he knew that I'm going to let her go through all of these things because when she does, she's going to be a fireball. And I always felt like women were, like my mom was a wallflower. You know, like she looked like she was 90 years old. Me and my brother would try to get her to drop us off 3 miles down the road from our school because she'd have an oatmeal box with her hair on top of her head because her hair was down to the floor.
Yeah.
And my dad looks like he stepped out of GQ.
Yeah, I've heard you say that. And I've also heard you say that your mom was so subservient that it used to make you angry.
Oh, gosh.
Why do you think it was that it made you angry that she was so subservient? Because you do have some of those qualities. Like I see how you wait on Angelo.
Oh, honey. I never knew I could do this.
And we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. I mean, he's a handsome guy.
That's my baby.
He's got
right
swag.
there.
You guys are a good looking couple. We're gonna bring Angelo in later. But I see with Angelo that you have no problem being subservient to him. So do you think that your mom felt that way about your dad? And can you understand it more now?
Absolutely. I think I was mad. You know, I think I was, because all the way back into, I was United Pentecostal. And the reason I kind of gloss over it a lot is because all my family's still in it.
Right.
So.
But I think it's very good to talk about it because I grew up Southern Pentecostal and it was pretty much.
Yeah.
And this is not me in any way putting anybody down who is in the religion currently. But what I experienced from that religion was I left it with so much religious trauma.
Man.
And I'm talking like I had panic attacks in my entire life and anxiety disorder because I was worried if I did the wrong thing that I was going to go to hell.
Oh, he was a mean God, wasn't he?
It's terrible. And
Scared me to death.
Yeah. And I just don't think that that's right that they do that. So I think if you did speak on it, I think that that's okay because look at where you are now.
Now I do speak on it, and when I do, I get dragged. The church world comes after me.
They're so mean. We actually have gone through it with the church people.
I have to pray over myself often because I pastor a phenomenal church in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Limitless Church is an incredible church, and I love God with all my heart, but I don't like his people a lot of times. And so I just have to pray. I'll call my mom and say, Mom, you got to pray for me because I want to, the hood part of me wants to come out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm holy, but I'm hood too. And that ratchet.
Holy enough to pray for you, hood enough to swing on you, baby.
And so I think what it is I think that me being raised, I remember going to church. I remember how religious those people were. I remember how less than women were. I remember watching my mother, literally everything that she ever did was for me and my brother and my dad. It was like us four and no more. And I got angry because I saw my mom, literally my dad would be sitting right here. And my dad would just put his glass down on the table and she'd get up and go run and get us water. And I'd be like, dude, you got 2 hands and 2 feet. He would never do that. Yeah. Okay? I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
Is that
he doesn't expect it. And that's why you love to do it because it's not an expectation.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I respect that because I'm the same way with my husband and I get dragged all the time because you actually said something one time. You said an alpha woman loves to be submissive for her husband. And I said the same thing. Do you guys remember that? And I got dragged. And I stood 10 toes down, baby. I was like, I don't care.
Even if I'm wrong, I'm still gonna stand 10 toes down.
Same. That I was gonna stand 10 toes down on it because when a man makes you feel safe, you want to love them.
And you're just so thankful.
So thankful. And you're just like, thank you, Jesus. Where did you come from? You know?
And you know what? They love you so well.
Yeah.
And I didn't really see that. Now, I'm not knocking my daddy at all. Like my daddy, I was his girl.
Yeah.
But about 25 years into their marriage, he had an affair. And I remember it just broke my heart. But let me go back to 7 years old. I remember we had church every night for starters. And all the ushers would just spank me because I was always bad. Like if
not the usher spanking you, Kim.
And I was mad about that. Why are you gonna let? I probably shouldn't say his name. Why are you
bleep that, Jason?
Why are you gonna let him take me out and spank me? But I was just a mad child.
It was a different time in life too.
Yes, it was just that religion. But I remember at 7 years old, we were in church, and I had a lot of trauma. I was already a lot of trauma because I remember coming around the corner in our house, and we couldn't wear pants. We couldn't wear makeup. We couldn't go to the racquetball club. We couldn't go to anywhere. It was literally like walking through Sears. My mom would put her hand up like this over my eyes when we walked through the TV section because that one-eyed demon is going to get you. And I remember I would always test that. Like I'd say, I'm going to the bathroom, and I'd go sit in front of the TV to see if the demon was going to come out. So I was always testing those waters, you know? Yeah. And I remember at 7 years old, I was laying down under one of the seats like this at our church. And I was looking up at my dad, and I was watching the choir. And my mom was up there just leading the worship choir. And all these people were just standing there like this. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, they're miserable. They look like they're about to cut their wrist. We're singing about Jesus. This whole church is miserable looking. And if this is what heaven looks like, and God's so mean, like every time we walk in the prayer room, my mother immediately starts rocking back and forth. And within 2 seconds, she's bawling, just nose snot. And I remember thinking, God, you are so mean that my mom even has to cry to get your attention.
Oh my God.
At 7 years old when
I
a
just got
shift.
goosebumps.
7 years old, something shifted in me, and it was like I just became an angry. I don't care if I go to hell. I don't care if church people don't like me. You can't do that, Kim, and I'm going to go do exactly what you told me I couldn't do. And so it's almost like the enemy had an assignment, you know, which he does a lot of times, and he'll use people. And I just think I had wounds. I had a lot of wounds. I remember coming home one day and my mother sitting on in the kitchen, and my dad was trying to calm her down, and she was just screaming. And me and my brother are sitting on the stairs, and she's screaming, I can't do this anymore. And the church deacons had come over and let them have it because we went to the South Lake Racquetball Club.
Because you what?
Because we went to the racquetball club.
Oh my gosh.
And so it was just anger. Like my mom was having a nervous breakdown over these church people. And so I think it was just layer after layer after layer after layer. And then it was just a place of whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it because I don't want to look like that. And if going to heaven means I got to go with them, the most judgmental, angry, hateful, hypocritical people, then I don't even care if I don't go. Take me to hell.
I relate to everything you're saying so much because I completely went through the same thing too. I wasn't allowed to wear makeup, hairspray. I couldn't curl my hair. I had to wear dresses down to my ankles.
This is crazy.
My mom used to sew my damn clothes and I was in high school. It's all in my book when it comes out. Like it's crazy. But my dad would be hitting women up online to have threesomes.
That's my dad.
I'd catch my dad watching porn, you know, like, and I would just be like, this is such a mind as a child to be, you know, have to sit there and cross your T's and dot your I's and be holier than thou. But then when you go home, everybody's masks fall off. Yeah. And I would see the same thing going on with everybody in the church. And it used to make me so mad that I got to the same point as you. And I was just like, you know what, God, I don't want to go to heaven. It's too hard. Nope. It's not attainable. There's no way that you can get there.
And it seems boring. It seems, you know, why would I want to go sit with a whole bunch of, I don't do that in my own life. Like, why would I want to go? I totally get you.
As a teenager, how did all this religious trauma affect you? Did it ever steer you into drugs and alcohol, or did you start experimenting with things like that as you started getting older?
So my 18th birthday, I was dating a boy so back in those days, the church had missionaries. And so the missionaries we sponsored, my daddy's church sponsored, they had a son and they lived in Tepic, Mexico. And all I could think about was, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get away from my parents. Yeah. And I'm gonna become a missionary in Tepic, Nayarit, Mexico. And because women, that's what we did. We didn't go to college. You know, you had babies, you got married. I mean, it's just the way we were raised. And
it's also that generation too. Yes. Like the women just never had any aspirations to do anything else but be moms, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
It's just not what we wanted
love you,
for
moms.
our,
we love you.
Shout out to all the moms. But it just wasn't in what we wanted.
Yeah. And so at 18 years old, I remember I graduated and then I dated this boy for 3 years and we were just church kids. And then all of a sudden I marry him. We have this big old wedding. And my mom says, your wedding lasted longer than your marriage. Because when I got married, I wasn't thinking, oh my gosh, like I'm going to go to Tepic, Mexico.
Yeah.
Like that's 18 hours after the border. I am the girl that at 16 years old, my dad and mom gave me my brother's little hoopty and said, here, baby girl, this is your car. I was like, I ain't driving that. And I went to Rich's and worked for Estee Lauder and bought me a BMW. Like I was high maintenance, but I could handle my high maintenance.
You did the maintaining.
Yes, girl. I was always like selling suckers or something. I was an entrepreneur.
I always tell everybody I could sell freaking ice to an Eskimo. Like literally, that's exactly
I was
how
selling suckers from Shoney's at 7 years old. We'd go eat after church on Sundays and I'd fill my little satin bag, go to school and sell them and make bank.
I love that. I just stole from the offering plate.
Come on.
I talked about it on one of the shows one time. Remember I talked about it. I took you guys by the church that I stole from.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, and I apologize to to Jesus and I apologize to the church publicly for doing it. Okay, but
I love that.
No, but it just, I feel like when you are so religiously oppressed, especially as a child, it creates so much religious trauma and rebellion.
Yeah.
You know? Before you got married, though, like take me through your teenage years because you always gloss over that.
Okay.
I
wasn't really bad.
It's okay.
Like listen to me. I was bad I didn't trust nobody. I didn't let anybody get close to me. I didn't have friends. Like it was like, I really did have friends. I had a lot of friends, but I was scared.
Because you have such
I was always the DDA, the designated driver.
Aww.
And I remember at 14 years old, I was the DDA for I was on the flag corps. Mm-hmm. And all the flag girls and us we'd go out to Subway. It was a Southway. It was a place we'd all hang out. And so they would always let me drive their cars because their cars were hoopties.
Yeah.
And I had no shame. And so at 14 years old, I need to tell more of these stories because these are funny. At 14 years old, we were backing up and I had no business driving. Mm-hmm. Like, why you let me drive your car?
Yeah.
And I'm backing up and it was, we like the cars that go boom. We're Tigra and Bunnie. And I just hit that gas. And I thought it was in drive, but it was in reverse. And I just nailed a brick post box.
Oh no.
And it was like $3,000 worth of damage.
Oh no.
And so I don't talk about that a lot because I remember it like ruined all my friendship that year.
Oh no.
But I really didn't do anything bad. I was too busy getting married and going to Bible school.
Getting married at 18 is young too. Like you're still a baby.
But you got to remember, we didn't come out of United Pentecostal till I was like 16.
Right.
So I was sheltered.
You're right.
So I was scared to death to drink, even Seagram's. My brother now.
I was the complete opposite. I was like, I was Old E was my first. I got drunk off an Old E in a drained out pool. Okay. Listen, let me tell you, wait till this book comes out. The first time I ever got drunk, Old E, Boone's Farm, ditching, like read Mad Dog 2020. You name it.
My brother did everything.
Oh, so because your brother went the way that I went.
Oh, honey. He did everybody in the church, all the youth. I mean, and all our youth were bad too.
Yeah.
Like I was scared to death of God.
Yeah.
I was bad, but I was scared to death of God as far as like sin.
Right.
And I remember our youth would go get drunk and the whole youth group would be strung out drunk at a house.
No.
And I would be making sure everybody was okay.
Yeah.
My brother.
I love that about you though.
Oh,
that shows that you have such a nurturing spirit.
For everybody to say I don't.
I really? Do they say that?
Well, I mean,
I don't gather
they
that
think
from
I'm
you.
rough.
I don't gather that from you at all. I see.
You don't?
No.
I don't think I'm like
not
that
at
either.
all.
I think I'm gentle and kind and loving.
No, I think that you are, you're about it when you need to be, but I also think that you know when it's time to be soft. Like when you're like that, when a woman has those two qualities, you know when to turn it on and turn it off. And I don't see you being.
I just fight hard for people, I think.
You fight, you're a lover. So you fight. That's how I am with my whole crew. Like you have to, you're the protector. Mm-hmm. You protect everybody.
Well, that's what I did. Yeah. I'd protect all of them. Mm-hmm. And none of them go to church anymore.
Oh,
like literally.
Do you keep in contact with any of them?
So I do. Like I'm like, we had a tight youth group and there's maybe one out of 65 kids.
Aw.
Because my dad was so hard.
Just that goes into religious trauma. And like, we're not here to bash people that are, practicing and are religious, but I always say that I'm not religious, I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
I think there's a huge difference. And I think there's like
Me too.
A very great divide of when you're being religious, you're literally just cramming stuff down people's throats and it's this way or no way. And, you're going to go to hell and there's, no other option. But when you're spiritual, you love people and you try to show them.
Like Jesus.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, Jesus leaves all these amazing people and goes to that well where that lady is sitting there at the hottest part of the day. And it's burning up hot and she's there when nobody else is there because all the Pharisees and Christians are judging her because she's been married 5 times and living with a man that wasn't her husband. And that's how I look at my life and people. I'm like, man, if God can do that, then why am I going to sit and be hateful to people and write people off because of their sins?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So you get married at 18 and then you guys are only together for a little bit of time. For a year. And then you guys get a divorce.
Because I was in Topeka and I had to get my parents there to get me. So I could get home.
Don't you hate that when you have to call the parents and you're like, oh, okay, here we go.
My dad, and I promise you, I never drank. I
really love that about you.
Like I was scared to death to do those things, but I was not scared to get married. Yeah. I was always scared to do the things that in secret, people see your deeds, but God sees your heart.
Yeah.
But when it came to like big things like marriage, let's go.
Because you're a lover. That's why.
I would just jump. I wouldn't even think.
Yeah, you're a lover.
It was like, who cares how many times you've been married? Like, I mean, my mom would go, Kimberly, what if this isn't the right thing? Well, we'll just figure it out. We'll just figure it out.
That's how I always looked at it. I've been married 3 times. My husband is my 3rd husband. And I always say 3 times the charms, but you know what? I used to joke around and be like, I'm going to be like Elizabeth Taylor. My dad was married 7 times. So I didn't have a very good example of, what marriage is, but getting out of that.
So that was like a generational curse.
Probably. And I'm hoping that I have broke it on the 3rd marriage.
My father's dad was like that.
Was he?
Yes.
That's how my husband's.
So like,
my husband's dad was the same way. He'd been married multiple times. Yep. So I think it was maybe just a generational thing.
But Bunnie, you know how many people in this world have been married 3 and 4 times but won't talk about it?
Oh, for sure. But why wouldn't you? It's part of your story. So it's
girl, there are, like, even when I put those clips up of me being honest, the people that reach out to me and say, man, you've given me hope. And they'll just start going underneath 10 times, 8 times, 7 times. I'm like, whoa.
There's always haters. I mean, I posted my mugshots the other day and there's people like, God, your whole entire face has changed. And I'm like, thank God.
I love that post.
Thank God. Thank you so much. So getting divorced at 18, how did you feel? Were you sad about it? Or were you just like, on to the next? Or did it not register because you are so young?
I was sad, because I was sad. Because I remember my parents came and got me out of Topeka. Basically, they brought our youth group. We built a church while they were there, and then I slipped in that van and left with them. And my husband moved back with us, and he stayed in the States with me for about a year. And man, there's no way we could survive.
Right.
He was a baby. I was a baby. I didn't know how to cook. I was a diva. He was a diva.
No.
And it was...
Can't have 2 divas in a relationship. That never works.
And he was a mama's boy, which is, we love mama's boys.
Do we?
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Do we?
Don't come for us.
No, I'm just kidding.
Don't come for us, mama's boys.
No, cut the umbilical cord, though.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a marriage. You cannot be a mama's boy in a marriage.
No. But it is important they love their mama.
Of course. And respect their mom for sure.
So I got back to the States, and right when I got back to the States, my mom and dad sent me to Bible school. They were like, girl, we've got a pastor that's going to scare the hell out of you. And I'm like, what? This pastor's going to really get you. He's going to bring you to the feet of Jesus. You have walked through divorce. You need healing. Yeah, I did. I needed healing. But they found Pastor Rod Parsley.
I've never heard of him until I started looking last night. Please, for those who don't know who he is at home, can you give us a little rundown?
I love Pastor Rod Parsley because, man, I've known him my whole life. He is one of the truest men. loved his wife, loved his children. What you saw is what you got. Now, he can be a little hard. You know, him and his mama both. That's why my mama sent me there. My mom and daddy sent me there, was because they were scary.
Right.
I'd hear them walking down the hall and I'd be hiding, you know, because I knew that they, you know, it was, you're gonna live right. There's an anointing on your life. And as soon as I got there, they grabbed me up. I for some reason auditioned for the choir. And because that's one thing about United Pentecost people, we can sing.
Yeah.
You know, we can't go to the movies, so we just sit around and sing. That's what we do. And so I tried out for the choir. And so from there, I started traveling with Pastor Rod. And so it made him get to really know me.
Before that, did you want to be a pastor? Or was this kind of like
women can't pastor.
So this was like your parents just kind of forcing you into
They were forcing me to Bible school, because if I go to Bible school, I can be a worship leader.
Oh, gotcha.
I can be a children's worker. Okay. I can be on the prayer team.
Gotcha.
But women can't pastor. I was raised women cannot be pastors.
Right.
And so I go and I start singing with him on the road. And he was just always like, Kim, there's an anointing on your life. Anybody I would try to date, he'd be like, oh, no, you can't date. I was there for a year, maybe 2 years. And I saw the piano boy. And I was like, oh, I'm going to marry me a preacher. He's a piano boy. He is anointed. I will marry me. And I remember being in Israel, singing on the Sea of Galilee, taping the Easter special for Pastor Rod. Pastor Rod has World Harvest Church in Ohio. He gets a lot of slack too, because he's he's in your face.
Yeah.
But we were headed back from Israel.
I mean, that's kind of romantic, singing, in Israel, the ambiance. It's kind of like set the mood for you to want to get married, you know?
I remember I was singing, I know the peace speaker. I know him by name. And it was talking about when he says, peace be still, all earth. And I'm up there just singing, worshiping. And I remember I was like living like the devil, going to Bible school. And I remember feeling so convicted out there on the Sea of Galilee. Like, you out here singing about the peace speaker and you don't even know the peace speaker.
No.
Like, you're out here singing on where Jesus was, and you're over here. So God's always been dealing with me like that, Bunnie. Like, I had to finally give in.
Right.
Because he was always after me. So what I did was, on the way home from Israel, Pastor Rod said, I see you looking at that piano boy. And when we get home, you're going to move in with Mama Parsley. That was his mama. And she was so scary.
Oh, not Mama Parsley.
And I was like, I'm not moving in with this woman. All I could think about was he's making me move in with Mama Parsley, because he said, girl, you make horrible decisions.
Do you feel like he was very protective over you?
Very protective of me. And I'm just so thankful. You know, he saw an anointing on my life, which I'm like this with so many people now. Because I know that if I would have just listened. So I get home, and at 3:00 in the morning, I packed my little Yugo and I moved to Atlanta, because I knew this man was going to make me move in with his mother on Monday. And I left, and that little piano boy followed me.
So you didn't say bye or anything?
No.
You just up and left because you were so
The next morning,
scared.
all the Bible Kids students are sending texts with the script up on the screen. Kim Jones to the executive wing. That was the pastor's wing.
Oh, no.
Kim Jones. I was like, I ain't there. I never spoke to him again for 25 years.
Oh, was his heart broken that you left?
I bet he was just shaking his head like, she's
When you
just gonna ruin her life.
When you finally did get to speak to him again, how did that go?
Girl, it was 42, because I didn't preach my first sermon until I was 42.
Okay.
Because I was married to Piano Boy for 18 years.
Yeah, we're going to get into that marriage too.
So I met him. So listen, I got back in. I really fell in love with Jesus at 42 and found God for me. I was at the darkest. We'll hear about that. And about 3 years in, Pastor Rod's ministry reached out to me. Now, when I was at Bible school, the greatest week was Dominion Camp meeting, because we would sing and the velvet curtains would go up, and it was just like 10,000 people and ta-da, it's like ministry.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he says, we would like to invite Real Talk Kim back to preach at Dominion Camp meeting.
How'd that make you feel?
Oh, I thought Ashton Kutcher was going to be there. Like, oh, we'll get on this plane and Ashton Kutcher's going to be there. Like, punking me.
Yeah.
I was blown away. But God told me, and when I turned 42, God told me whenever I was really getting myself together, man, I was finding God and I was on that hunt and I was just, it was like a rapid, Bunnie, I'd lost all my friends in that season. And I remember I was driving this knockoff Bentley is what I call it. And it was a 300 Chrysler. And I was back at my mom's house and smoke would come out of my car every day coming back from Bloomingdale's where I worked. And I did a video that day talking to myself. And I was like, if you are in a place right now and you feel like giving up, don't you dare, because you're this close. I was talking to myself because I'm sitting on the side of the road with overheating and I'm looking for God and I feel God, but I don't feel like I deserve any help whatsoever. That's why my car's on the side of the road. And so at that moment, I just was on there talking to myself and I uploaded a video and that thing went viral.
It's always the ones that you never plan to go viral that go viral.
And every single day after that, I did a video. But because of that, that's how come I'm so true to myself still to this day.
Right.
Because it wasn't the horrible Christians that were, because there's horrible everything.
Right. And
every place.
Space.
In every space. But it wasn't those people that were talking behind my back, or it was the Pastor Rod Parsley that had all the reason in the world to never have me back because I rebelled. This was my third marriage by now. Yeah. Everything he said was going to happen happened. And he said, I want you to come preach. Well, that's crazy because I've only been preaching for 3 years. And I don't even know that I'd preached at my dad's church yet because he was still trying to get used to the women pastoring. I'd preached in Paula White's. I'd preached in T.D. Jakes's at the Young Adults Conference. I had preached at Creflo Dollars for Taffy Dollar. So all of these big mega ministries were having me, but my dad was still having a hard time because my dad remembers I was nay-naying and not pray-praying, you know? And I'd already made such a mockery of the family for so long. I'm sure he was taking his time. Now my dad loved me, but he knew the ratchet side of me still.
Right.
I could still get up and preach and bleed in those other places because I was just going in and going out. And when I walked in that place, I remember getting off that plane, Bunnie, and they picked me up at the airport. And as I was driving to World Harvest Church to preach, it was like right before that exit, I look up and there was a billboard and it was all these legend preachers. And then there was me right in the middle with a mohawk and a pink thing coming out. This is when I was preaching in tutus.
Yeah.
I always was doing the craziest, like a fairy godmother. Yeah. And I look up and I just started bawling. And I heard the Lord say, because of your obedience, because you put in that work, because you stopped allowing yourself to be identified by people and you just looked up and stayed faithful and stayed focused and stayed consistent, I'm giving you a full circle moment. And I'll never forget walking in and him walking in that green room and wrapping his arms around me.
I got chills.
Girl. It was like God. That was probably healing for me because
So
I think
healing.
all of us have baggage from that.
Yeah.
Like we go to a therapist forever, but what's she gonna know? She wasn't in that growing up like you and I. She wasn't where the one true and living God that man would leave and go to that woman at the well. She never encountered that like what we did. And so I think when you see the hand of God that can take people with the worst past and create the best futures.
But also to have such a man who is so scary to everybody else, just embrace you after that long after you leaving without even saying goodbye and him just holding you, like I would have just lost it.
And there's people, I will fight for him. Like, I am that friend. You listen to me. I'm that friend for even you, Bunnie. When I call you my friend or I love you, I will, you killed who? Okay. I'm gonna help you. I'm then take you to the cross.
We're gonna go hide the body and then we're gonna go pray.
Yes. But that's how I feel about him because he's hard. You know, he's a hard, you know, like he'll yell at, he's been in the news for yelling at staff and all this kind of stuff. But I know him and I know how he put his arm around me and how he fought for me because my exes all came out. You know, whenever I started really blowing up,
oh, they all
came out with 1933 pictures. You know,
they always do.
And they would call him, and he'd be like, "Don't you lose my number." And he just always had my back. But I remember, girl, listen, he looked in my eyeballs and he said, "I'm so proud of you, real talk, Kim."
Oh,
and he said, "You're gonna preach your butt off today."
He just always believed in you.
Yes.
He gave
but
you,
he came back.
He gave you what your dad didn't give you. And that was really cool of him to have done that for you. And I think that's really special that everybody gets to hear that story.
Wow, that is rich what you just said. And I think you're right. That's exactly why that still moves me to this day, is because he didn't have to do that. He didn't. And I remember even walking into the church and everybody was up there and, you know, they always have their memes, you know, their people take their computers up there and put it up there before they get there and preach. I will never do that because I never want. Why can't I carry my computer up there and put it on the front,
right,
on the the podium? And so I'm walking up, and I don't have this huge entourage like everybody else because I just was like honored. Like, it ain't about me and all these people walking in so I can show y'all I made it. It was, man, I was bawling.
Yeah.
I was just like, God, you've got to help me get this together before I get up there and preach. I was scared to death. There was 10,000 preachers that have been preaching for 40 years, 30 years. And here's this little girl that did everything they said she did. The woman caught in the act of adultery, taken before the Lord and said, stone her. And yet he got down in that dirt. That was Pastor Rod. He got down in that dirt and started writing. If you got some sin, if you don't have any sin in your life, then you cast that first stone. And what he did for me that day was he put me up there and just said, what are y'all gonna say? Preachers.
He led with love.
He did.
He practiced what he preached.
He did.
Yeah.
And really after that, I was on Preachers of Atlanta. Showed out for Jesus.
So let's circle back though, because we left off at you getting divorced at 18 and then getting married again at 19, which resulted in you having your babies, becoming a mama.
18, Morgan and Lincoln.
I mean, what was that like for somebody who came from such a crazy childhood, being able to raise your own babies?
Oh my gosh.
Has it been healing for you? Or has it been triggering?
I think it was triggering, you know, because I remember we backslid.
Yeah.
Like me and their father were worship pastors.
Right.
We both came from World Harvest Church. And we totally backslid. We got church hurt and we're working for we're a mega ministry and we saw stuff and it was like triggering all the way back. Like, no way, man. We're not raising our kids under this.
Right.
And so we just quit going to church. And
I feel like everybody goes through that though. Like anybody that has super religious trauma, like how we do, it's like you go through a season of your life where you're like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. And you leave the church.
And I didn't want to fake it. You know, a lot of people will still get back in church and sing on platforms and hide their skeletons and live their whole life miserable. I just didn't want to do that. Like, God, I would rather, you know, disappoint you than be in church faking it and still disappointing you. So if I've got to choose, then at least I'm just disappointing you. But I don't want to
do the dog and pony show. Yeah, I get it.
And so we quit going to church, but I'd convinced myself, and I went and started an interior design company.
I love that.
And
You're like, you know what? I'm just going to become an interior designer.
I was like, I don't need anything. I'm going to go. And boy, did I. That is when I started partying.
Oh. So how did you just become an interior designer? Because I actually went to school to start getting my bachelor's degree in interior design when I was younger, and it was f***ing hard. Excuse my language.
Girl, I don't have degrees for nothing.
Yeah, and you
I just tell
got
people
into
I can
it?
do it, and they believe me.
I love that. I love that. Did you start your own company?
Yes.
That is hilarious.
I mean,
Kim, I love you.
Because I had to, Bunnie. I was a
get it.
girl, and girls were, we were supposed to be at home with our kids. I'm not going to do that. I'm a boss. I'm proving something to the world.
I love that you figured it out, though.
But what happened was my son's father, when we got hurt with that church, he went to bed. He literally went into depression.
Oh.
And we're in this house. He's the only one that's ever worked since we got married. We had been married for, God, at this time, 13 years. Mm-hmm. We had 2 kids.
Yeah.
And he's in bed.
So it was like sink or swim, and that hustler in you was like, okay, I've got to get up and make money.
I mean, it was literally like he lost his mind.
Oh.
It knocked him.
Was he using at the time?
No.
Okay.
And we weren't even partying at that time.
Okay, gotcha.
And so this church, found out this, I guess a neighbor told this pastor in Ormond Beach, I got a girl that is phenomenal. She does great with color, and she just loved me. And so I was a makeup artist, not a designer. Mm-hmm. But she said I was great with color. And you got to let her come look at your church because he was needing paint colors. Mm-hmm. And I went in, and I don't know how, but I sold myself. Can you do drapes? Yes. Can you pick paint? Yes. Can you pick carpet? Yes, I can. And I went home and taught myself every bit of it. Got that whole church that is now in Ormond Beach, and decorated that whole church. And it was in this rich community. And so I went and started to interior design company. My mother became my workroom. Because remember, she made my church clothes.
Yeah.
She
I
made
love
all
that
my
you
church
unlocked a new era, though. Like, it put a drive in you, and you were like, you know what? I did great at this.
Yes.
I'm about to just drive it home. I love that. No, interior designers make money.
And you know what I did is I went and hired a whole bunch of really good designers that were better than me. And I'd sit on the beach and just answer the phone. And
you're smart. You're a boss. That's just, yeah.
But I was really good too. I was good at design. So I did do it for a little while. But then I got so big that I just had teams. But
look how
I went back and preached at that church too.
Look how God was working in your life, even when you didn't realize it. Like, he still provided and was like, you know what? Even though she's not going to church right now, she's at least pouring her energy into something.
That's how God is.
I know.
God is like that. God is never ever changing. He is, just because we do bad things or make not even bad things, we do the best we can. Mm-hmm. Like, I wasn't just out in these streets wanting to go to hell for real. Mm. I had 2 kids.
Right.
I just had some stuff.
Right.
And I just stayed away from the people that had caused the harm. I don't believe you can heal where you got killed, or left for dead. And so I started decorating that church, and then I started interior designing, and my husband stayed at home with the kids. Mm-hmm. And I did that for 8 years.
Wow. You made a whole career out of it.
And we got in with all these rich people that would taught us about and
yep.
Oh my
God. The designer.
Man, they were swapping. I ain't never heard of that stuff. I was like, y'all are what?
Oh yeah, in Florida too. Don't go to the pineapple upside down houses.
Well,
ever.
honey, I made it. We made it to the villages or whatever they're called. I remember I would lay in my bed at night. I'd be like, God, are you still there? I just thought he done turned me all over to all this.
She said, God, are you still there?
He done turned me over to the pineapples.
Oh my God.
Because I was sheltered. I was sheltered. I never knew.
So let's deep dive here a little bit. Okay, I have to peel back the layers. So you and your husband started partying really hard. You guys started using drugs, and you guys also started swinging?
Never swang.
Okay, never swang. Swapped.
We never did none of that now.
Okay. She's like, yes, no, maybe so.
No, we didn't do any of that, but we had friends. Like, we were all around it. Like, we would leave. There wasn't no way if that man would have ever said, because I'm this kind of woman.
Yeah.
You're gonna let me. You're gonna let who? What? That means you don't love me because I'm not sharing this man with no. I will cut you. You know, my exes maybe,
Yes.
but if I love you,
Yeah.
and remember, I encountered that with my father, so I just didn't have a good trust in men anyway.
Gotcha. But I love that you didn't judge people who were in that
Oh
lifestyle.
no, honey, I was best friends with them.
Yeah.
And I remember as soon as they all started getting real, caught up, we'd dip.
She's like, all right,
Drunk and all.
this is my exit. I'm on ecstasy, jaw grinding. We're going home, honey.
I look back, girl. You ever just look back and think about stuff you did?
Honey.
And think
Yes.
I would have went to jail for a really, really long time.
Yes. Yes. All those mugshots, there's more.
But I
There's
should have
more.
had some.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I should have had some.
Yeah.
Because I think of like stuff that we did back in that era.
Yeah. It
Where
was
my little boys were just, man.
It was a different life back then, though. Like,
It
I don't
really
think,
was.
not that I'm excusing our behavior, but I'm sorry. If I could go back to the 90s and 2000s, I would do it all over again.
I know it.
Yeah,
So
I
different.
love that era of life, even in the early 2000s, too. I don't know what's going on in the world today, but it's not the world that I grew up in. And it's just a completely different, time.
Yeah.
So you guys are partying.
Yeah.
When does the party stop?
So
When do you realize you need the party to stop?
it was 17 years and 11 months. We were married, and it was so bad. I remember on my 30th birthday, it was that night was when all hell broke loose. Like we'd been partying. Our house was the party house. My little boys were just, I remember my mom coming to my doorstep one night, right around my 30th birthday, and just crying. And she was like, baby girl, I'm praying for you. Like, this is just not you. And I'd be like, girl, I ain't never coming back to Jesus with a cigarette hanging out my mouth.
No.
And I just remember the tears. And so I just go drink some more so I didn't have to remember the pain
So you didn't have to
that I
think
caused
about
my mom, because I didn't want to be this way, but it was way better than those people that I'd encountered in the church. So it was either this or that.
You felt a sense of freedom
Oh,
of being able to
yes.
choose who you were in that moment. If you wanted to drink, you could. If you wanted to smoke, you could. If you wanted to drop ecstasy, you could. Nobody's going to tell you what to do.
Yes.
Because those formative years, you were told what to do.
And I wasn't even thinking about God, really.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't thinking about me, I didn't think. I just wasn't even thinking about dying. Like when you're caught up in sin, sin will take you further than you want to go.
Yes, ma'am.
Cost you more than you want to pay and keep you longer than you want to stay when you do it what I was doing. Where it's just taking control of your life.
Right.
And I remember one night, 30th birthday, and it was like the first time that I felt abuse. I was like, man, we are in trouble.
Wow.
And I remember that night my mom calls me and she says, baby girl, God wants me to ask you a question. She said, do you want this in 20 years? And I was like, man, we were so far gone.
Yeah.
Like numb gone. Because you can't be raised in church and know God
Right.
and not feel in your deepest, darkest, hungover.
Yeah. Have some conviction.
You can't not.
Yeah. There's always a fear there for
Because
sure.
you did feel God, even in those seasons that those people let you down. You did. You couldn't neglect that. And so I just listened to her. And at that night, I didn't know where he was. I didn't know where he was. I didn't know what was going on. And I was in a very dark place.
When you say you felt abuse, was it physical?
We were both physical. Just because it's my son's father, I'm so careful because
I respect
I've
it.
changed so much.
Trust me, I get it. When you have that so much going on, and
Girl, it was just my mouth.
yeah, well, yes, I get it. I get it. 100%.
I could slice you up and leave you for dead. I was so detached. Like I was so wounded that people that had been in my life for 13, 14 years would leave and I would act like they had never even been there.
Yeah.
Like I just had no attachment ability at all. Like I was just,
I call it being a verbal sniper because I was the same way.
yeah,
I would cut people
Just
off
broken.
and just leave them like just so heartless.
like not even care. Like I even think back to this day, did you care? Like, did you? No. Like it was like I just expected everyone to leave you know?
Yeah.
So it was like, I was like, peace out.
Right.
And then I'd walk in a room with them and never even look at them. Like they had never been there. So
I would always hurt people before they could hurt me.
yes, me too.
Self-sabotage
Yeah.
at its finest. Yeah.
And so that's when it really started. I still stayed another 4 years after that, trying to save him. I really honestly thought he's going to come to his grips. He's going to get it together. And
Was
we're
it
going to go
just
back.
depression, or was he in
Oh
addiction at
gosh,
that time
at this
too?
point it was addiction.
It was just full blown addiction.
Full blown. My parents came and tried to go through what's it called? Sobered him up. He went
rehabs.
away. It was just had a hold on him.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could party and then get up and go to work. You know, I was a party animal.
I was a functioning addict myself.
I was totally. And so my kids were lost. And I remember what finally hit the camel's back was one night. I remember it was this song that just started coming on because I was all by myself. My kids were at my mom's house in Atlanta, and I was living in Orlando, Florida. And at this point, so much had taken place in this marriage. I mean, police, just holes in walls, just rage. And this night, it was like, I'm dying tonight. Like I knew this night I was gonna die. Like it was at the top of rage. It was like everything came to a head. And that night, all I could think about was I gotta get out of this house. And then I gotta go where I gotta go. And because I'd protected him, there was nobody around. I mean, I literally started this man a church trying to get him sober. Like if I went and found a movie theater, bought all the music equipment. He came to church drunk.
Wow.
You know, I mean, and people were trying to sober him up so he'd get up and do the sermon. I'm just trying to help him get his life back. And that night I thought if I can get up and get out, then I'll call my mom and dad tonight. And I remember I sat in a bush because the neighbors went to our church. And I couldn't go over there because I didn't want them to hate Jesus because of our horrific leadership ability.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so
Because you've gone through that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to stand before God one day and he was like, girl, like all these people turned away from me because of your mouth, because you were double-minded.
Right.
And so I just sat in that bush. I remember about 5 o'clock he left and I go and I call my mom and dad. And they came to Orlando, picked up my home. It was a beautiful home that I had bought. And my mother came in, we patched holes when the fights would start, he would throw just whatever. And I'd just put pictures over the walls. And she sat that day for 24, 48 hours and just started fixing the walls. And I remember my dad walking around telling people, don't talk to Kim. Like if you talk to her, she's gonna have a nervous breakdown, just talk. I was out of it. It was like, and I'm a strong woman, and I was out of it. And from that point on, I remember listening to this. Credit's important to me. Like integrity is important to me. Even when I was out in the world looking for peace and looking for whatever I was out searching for, I still felt I got to keep up with my name and, good character. And I got 2 boys that even always are going to need their mom. And I'm going to be able to supply for them. And in the last 6 months, I lost my business because we were down to that place of, I'm tired of you depending on everybody else. So I closed the whole business down, gave it to my designers because I was trying to do everything I could to save this marriage. Whatever he told me was going to work, I was going to do it.
Yeah.
And by this time, so I didn't have the company anymore. And I remember thinking, I got this $500,000 house behind these gates and I'm going to lose it. I'm not going to be able to buy cheese with my credit. How am I going to sustain my kids? And do you know when we were packing up that U-Haul, getting ready to pull out, a Taurus pulls up in that driveway, and it is a beat up Taurus, and literally rolls its window down and says, "Are y'all selling this house?" It looked like a yard sale because we had stuff laying everywhere. And my dad said, "In fact, we are." He said, do you mind if I go in and look inside? My dad let him go look inside. He said, I'm going to buy this house.
Wow.
He said, I'm an investor and I'm going to buy this house. And at 6 a.m. that next morning, we stayed overnight, 6 a.m. that next morning, that man bought our house.
Kim.
And it was like God at that moment started showing me glimpses of him.
Because you were making the right decision. So he was like encouraging you, like, now you don't have a reason to go back.
Yes.
Now it's just moving forward.
Yes. And this is what he does for us. Mm-hmm. When everybody in the world lets you down, if you'll do the hard things, if you'll swallow your pride, because that's what I had to do. I had so much pride. And I had to swallow my pride and move back in with the very woman that I married a man for to run away from.
But look how they showed up for you.
Oh, girl, now
That's
my
beautiful.
now my mom and daddy, he didn't want me preaching his pulpit, but he loved his daughter.
Yeah. He's like, I don't trust you to be behind the pulpit,
no,
but
he thought
you're
I'd
my
cuss.
daughter.
He's like, baby girl, you still, you need to get your mouth, you still cuss a little. That was the only reason. He didn't want me to make a fool of myself, you know?
Yeah.
But now I pastor his church.
Aww.
But yeah, so I had to move back in with my mom and dad. I remember one night, Bunnie, it was like the biggest, just humbling experience that me and my two sons that had everything, every new video game, I drove a Navigator, a Mercedes convertible, this beautiful house. We would have chefs cook for us, or we'd let them stokers pull up all the cooked meals, and overnight, those boys, and they had gorgeous bleach, that long hair, and they were just so cool. And all of a sudden, when my dad comes, he makes them cut their hair. No. So it was still a little in him.
Yeah.
I've never talked about this part. No. He made them cut their hair off, their surfer hair off. And he went and put them in Christian school. So it was like overnight, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And my boys ain't been to church. I convinced myself we'd only been out for 3 years, but it had been 10.
Right.
I'm only backslid for 3 years.
Right.
It had been 10. And
was that a shock for them? Like, how did they adjust?
Well, because my mom and dad, we move in with them, and there's a revival going on with a guy named Todd Bentley or something. I don't remember. I mean, obviously I remember his name. Yeah. Obviously it was traumatic to me. And every single night they are laying in the floor weeping. With this tent revival, and it was every night. So my kids go from no church to laying in the floor, watching my mom and dad lay in the floor, weeping and crying every night. And my dad's making them cut their hair. And
how did they adjust? How did it affect them? How old were they at this time?
7 and 9.
Oh,
it was hard on them.
Yeah, I bet.
Then they, of course, a year went by, 10, 11, 12. I said I was going to be out of my mom's house by then. And every year went by and I was stuck. Because now I'm having to work a retail job because we're in Fayetteville, Georgia. I pastor in a town that is horses.
Right.
And cows. And there's not even a mall. There's a Belk. And so I had to go get a job at this Kmart on crack. Right? Because that's all there is. And I got to take care of my kids.
Right.
And so.
And it wasn't just you. You couldn't just up and leave like you had done previously because now you got 2 little nuggets.
And I was scared to make the wrong. There was really a fear of, I can't mess up again because I got these 2 little boys that lost their dad and mom. Like, what a disgrace. Like, the first one was.
You were young. You were young.
I mean, the only thing that, right.
And I feel like it doesn't count. That one should have been annulled.
And if I passed him on the street, I wouldn't even know what he looks like.
Right. Oh, shit.
Honest to God.
I love that.
Like, it was just that. And this one, I loved his guts.
Yeah.
So it was like
my son's you had children with him. So
and I honest to God thought we'd be together forever.
Yeah.
Probably doing something in ministry. I don't know, because that's what he did our whole marriage.
Did he ever get it together? And was he able to? No, never got it together. I hate to hear that.
No. And my mom was right. 20 years. Do you want this? Because nothing's changing.
Wow.
And I pray every day, because I know what it's like great guy. And I don't even know what does even get it together look like?
Right.
Exactly. My get it together, which is take over the world.
Right.
Or I got peace.
Yeah. Yeah. If he's living how he wants to live and he's
exactly
content,
right.
then that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So take me to this, God speaking on your life and calling you to become a pastor, because you're living at home, you're at rock bottom, you're working at Belk, and you get this harebrained idea to become a pastor? Or how does this come to you?
Girl, I didn't even know how to do makeup because remember, I was raised you can't do makeup.
Right.
So why are they going to put me at Estee Lauder? Like not even MAC. Estee Lauder, which is like granny makeup. Yeah. And so that means I got
white diamonds and all that stuff. My stepmom used to wear
you
that shit.
You do.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, girl. Them ladies love the Tutu, and they would come spray all over and it smelled straight up like
diapers.
And so, and you have to wear these polyester navy blue suits, uniforms. And so they're like, we have the best job for you, and it's Estee Lauder. And I was like, listen, lady, I don't know how to put makeup on. You do not want me in makeup. I really don't even like people at all.
Right.
Like
at this point in my life, I'm over it.
I don't like people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be good with your customers. It'll put me in the well. Put me in the well. I'll open the boxes. They were like, oh no, we think you're going to be great. Girl, when I tell you, it was like God punked me because I was still, my dad, because I was in his house, was making me lead worship in his church. So I'd be driving to church with my cigarette hanging out of my car, and then getting to the church and spraying love spell all over me.
Which that doesn't even work because I used to smoke Newports, so I know. And the love spell,
you just smell like a whole whorehouse.
Yeah,
walking up into the church.
Every stripper in Vegas wore love spell.
Oh my God,
or
it
vanilla,
makes me sick now.
Amber Romance.
Yes.
Amber Romance was the other one.
And so I started to do his worship, but I was like in cosmetics, and I remember watching YouTube's trying to learn how to like do makeup. And I remember getting so mad at God one night, and I was like, you hate me. Like these old ladies, like I don't even know how to do makeup, and now they're coming in here wanting, I got to put it in the wrinkles and cover the wrinkles up, and I don't even know how to put makeup on. I'm just having this whole conversation because I truly did start talking to God.
Right.
Like I was really laying in that bed, really seeking, because I was sad. I was broken. And I remember laying in that bed, and I said, God, I said, I need you to take this pain away from me. And probably for the first time in my life, Bunnie, I heard, I can't take it away from you. You got to get up and walk away from it. And at that moment, I realized that it was like the rejection wasn't people necessarily wanting out of my life. It wasn't just because I was bad. It wasn't just because I was unlovable, but that God did indeed have something for me to do. I never thought it was preaching, ever. I never thought it was preaching. But he had something for me to do that those people that I'd opened the door to come in my life, their character couldn't keep up with my purpose. Mm. And so for some reason, I wrapped my head around rejection's God's protection. And so I started climbing out of that depression, that sadness, that hollowness, that sitting in the parking lot with all my girlfriends drinking Boone's Farm, or the cheapest wine we could find, literally getting drunk on the cheapest wine we could find after work while my kids are at home with my parents. Mm. And I started longing. It was like God started giving me a longing, because I always knew God from my parents or from Bible school.
Their version.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But this time I hit rock bottom and I needed God. And I remember he started taking me on a journey of forgiveness. And I remember I lay in my bed at night and I would pray, God, kill him with a train, because God didn't tell me how to kill him or how to pray for him. He just said, pray for him. I was praying for him to get killed with the train because I wanted him to hurt as bad as I was hurting. And I remember when he started talking about forgiveness, I was just like, wow, I don't even know how to do that. Raised in the church.
Well, because they didn't show you
No.
forgiveness. They didn't show you how to forgive.
No.
That's been my biggest lesson in life too, is learning how to forgive.
And I would lay in my bed every night and be like, God, help. I would pray that every night. God, help me forgive. God, help me forgive. I want to forgive. I want to forgive, but I don't know how. And it was like over time, in about 6 months, I was starting to get up, more excited. My kids were starting to see a change. I wasn't just going out and looking for trouble to get into. Right in the beginning of this journey of me finding God and really like just hungry, I came home drunk one night. I was probably 38, and it was the last time I got drunk. I come home drunk. We'd had a party, and I was the star. You know, everywhere I went, they'd make sure I got home and everything. They would drive.
I believe that.
They would drive me home. They put me in the van. Like they took care of me because I was just, by this time, I was happy. I was getting there. And that night I walk in my house, and I remember the girl, this lady named Tarvet was the one that drove me home. And that night she had called my son, Morgan, and said, I need you to open the door because I'm bringing your mama home. And that night when I walked in, I saw that pain in my son's eyes. Because he'd seen it 2 years prior when we had to leave his father. And that had taken away that whole family, you know, from him. And I saw that, and I was so broken. I mean, because you know when you're drunk, some reason you're more spiritual. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you got any God, you're preaching to everybody.
Well, they call alcohol spirits.
Yes, so, they do.
There you go.
So
seeing that pain.
I saw that pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking in, and I just feel grief because you could just see it in his eyes, just like, because he'd never seen me like that. I'd hit it really well, you know? And I was walking upstairs, and as I was walking upstairs, I hit all of the pictures.
Oh, no.
I'm 38.
Oh, no.
And I wasn't as bad as I had been. I was really searching for God, but I was just 1 foot in, 1 foot out, really. And I'm doing so good and already doing my videos.
Right. Oh.
Already doing my videos, already talking about Jesus.
So your video started out as like motivational speaking, not being a pastor.
No.
I never knew that.
No. Okay. Just literally like, man, I know you want to give up today.
Trying to encourage.
I know you're starting over today. I know you're sitting on the side of the road and you're hoopty, and you are looking at all these people that look like they're doing so much better than you.
Gotcha.
So that's what it was totally. Mm-hmm. It was definitely not because I had it all together.
Right.
I probably looked like I did. But I knocked all the pictures down going upstairs at my mom's, all my graduation pictures on my brother's. Aww. And I heard the door of my father's room opening. And my heart started palpitating because my son already was disappointed. And now my dad, which I love more than anything, was going to catch me. And because I'd always stay away, you know, if I was going to be partying or anything like that. But this night I got busted. And so I hear my dad walking up the stairs, and I run to my room, and I lay down like this as still as I can, thinking that he'd think I was asleep. Like he didn't see all the pictures. But when you're drunk, you just think you're very sober.
And you're slick.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't me.
And I could feel his breath looking down at me. And so I just opened my eye like this. And he said, baby girl, how do you feel? And I said, heartbroken. And he said, well, you're going to get through this. He said, but I hope you don't have a hangover tomorrow. He said, because daddy's going to tuck you in. And he said, forgive yourself. But tomorrow, you're going to get up and lead praise and worship at our church. And I thought, every white person, because it was all whites, all the white people in that building, judgmental, oh, they were. I said, they're going to die because there's a lightning bolt about to go through the ceiling of that church, because there's no way my dad should let me. Because most of the time, you got to get up. If you're a preacher's kid, you got to get up. You got to stand before the church. You got to say, I'm sorry that I've sinned. My dad never let that happen.
Wow.
My dad covered me. He protected me. But he was going to make me get up, lead praise and worship. And I remember that Sunday, it was like God, I laid in that bed that night and cried my eyes out because I felt like another moment with Pastor Rod where Jesus was holding me and saying, let it go. You're human.
Yeah.
And after that, I never drank again. It was like my father showed me everything I needed him to show me all those years. This soft side where he's saying, baby girl, I'm so proud of you, and you going to get up there and you going to sing your butt off and you going to lead worship, and God is there, and I trust you. And so I led worship, and it was like that there was a healing that took place. And I never had to go out and get drunk and drive with one eye again. And that's when my whole life really started changing. And I literally fell so in love with Jesus. Fell in love with Jesus. And I mean, girl, listen, I was then turning those car videos into preaching, but it wasn't preaching. It was all, I'm fascinated with the stories in the Bible where God leaves the 99 for the one, where he will turn Apostle Paul, that was Saul, that was a Christian killer, and he'll turn him into one of the greatest revivalists in the planet.
Yes.
He'll save him. He'll let a snake bite him that was supposed to kill him, and he'll shake that snake off, and that very hand that got bit by the snake is the one that was healing people. Like, I'm just fascinated by those stories of the man laid at the pool of Bethesda, 38 years. And all of a sudden, God said, get your tail up. What you doing?
Yeah.
And he gets up and he says, now take your mat and walk. He knew if he left his mat there, he would come back. And yet that man ended up being a great revivalist.
Yeah.
The woman at the well became one of the greatest revivalists. And so I was always fascinated with that. So I was always telling those stories of, if you've been church hurt, it's okay. And then I met a guy named Trent Shelton in that time. And he's over rehab time. And he had this big old movement. And he would ask me to come on and pray. And it wasn't a Christian movement, but he always wanted someone to pray. And he saw me as a preacher.
Aww.
And so he would ask me to come on rehab time and pray. And I'd be set up in my mama's bedroom, that room that was a 10 by 10, like size of my old walk-in closet. And I'd be praying in that room. And I showed up every Thursday. Like there was 20,000 people standing there. And I did it faithfully for like 2 years.
It gave you a purpose.
Yeah. And I think the obedience to God. Like, I mean, I would be out with family and have to go sit in my car so I could do this rehab time. And it stirred something up inside of me.
That was calling.
Oh yeah. And then when I was at Bloomingdale, I mean at Belk, when I think about that, I could not stand people. And God knew that. And he said, where I'm taking you, you have to like people. So I'm going to put you in front of these sweet little old ladies that don't care if you can't do makeup. They're just coming to feel pampered. And you're going to fall in love with them because you're going to learn to listen to their stories. And girl, when I tell you that 5 years in cosmetics, I fell all of this was in the same time. I fell in love with people so much, their stories. I started ministering to them out of a place I never knew was there.
Right.
It was like, I remember when I really realized that God had his hand on my life was this lady named Eleanor. Came walking back.
Such an old lady name, and I love that. I freaking
She looked like
love
an
it.
old lady. She gonna walk in like that with her little handbag, you know? And she comes walking in, and by this time, because I was selling the mess out of lip glosses, because that's all I could put on you was lip glosses. And everybody was buying lip glosses. And I'd do their makeup and they'd buy lip glosses. And I had one of the top counters in Atlanta for sales. Because
it was because of you.
It was.
People were attracted to your charm.
And Eleanor came in and she said to me, Kim, I said, Eleanor, you cannot return that. I have all the account execs come into my store and they're going to ask me what I'm doing to get all these sales. And if you return, we have no returns, Eleanor. She said, oh no, I'm not bringing this back. She said, I'm coming back with a proposition to you. She said, for the last 13 years, she said, my husband walked out on me for my best friend. And she said, I quit living. She said, I lay in my bed and I would just rot. And everyone enabled me. My kids would bring me food and groceries and I just wouldn't leave the house. I lost me. And she said, I have to get a job. She was probably 78. And she was having to go get a job. And she said, so I have to figure out how to take care of myself. And she said, I've been going to a therapist. This woman comes to my house and meets with me for the last 10 years. And she said, that therapist hasn't done anything for me, but she became my friend. She said, but when I came and sat in your chair on that Friday, she said, something happened in your chair. And she said, when I left, I went home, I opened all my blinds. She said, I told people I don't need you to come buy my groceries anymore. She said, life is back in me. And she said, every Friday, I'm going to come sit back in this chair and I'm going to let you talk to me and I'm going to buy another lip gloss.
Let's go.
And it was like, that was God, Bunnie.
Yeah.
It was like all of a sudden, I was like, oh,
It like clicked for you.
yes,
It was like a light bulb.
everything they said about me is not true. I can preach. I can love people back to life. And if I can't preach in a church, I can preach on the side of the road. I can minister. I can love everybody. I can walk in a grocery store. I can fall in love with little thumbnails that I don't know. I never meet these people, but yet God's given me this ability to love so well that they feel like they're my best friends. And it's because I prayed every day, God, let me be that person that lets people feel seen, that wants to live right. I didn't live right because I was scared of hell. I was not scared of hell. I had already been there.
Yeah.
But what brought me to Jesus was Rod Parsley and my father wrapping their arms around me and having my back when I didn't have my own back. So it's the love of God. It's loving people where they are and being there for them and letting Jesus clean them up.
Amen, sister.
And so from there,
you just start preaching.
What?
What was it like when you did your first sermon?
oh, well, I pulled out a tutu.
Okay, where did the style come
was
from? I need to know.
scared.
'Cause you've had like a whole change in style, which I love both versions. Oh, we got to credit.
Because that man right there loves me well. You know, I just never felt sexy. I was
Right.
a preacher. You know, I was, and you know, I try to preach soft girl. People say, how many pack of cigarettes have you smoked today?
I love your voice.
Because I'm like, ah. I get called Caitlyn Jenner all the time. Like, is that Caitlyn Jenner?
People
I think the
ask
other day.
me, listen, that's a compliment. People ask me if I'm trans too. I think that's the new thing that
Well,
they do whenever
good.
women are good looking.
That makes me feel
it's because trans women are beautiful now. It's
Oh,
like they're
that's
so
right.
beautiful. So it's like, you know what? If you want to call us that,
I
that's
can't
fine.
believe I hadn't thought of that. It's because I'm going to say that next time. 'Cause,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm telling you.
I'm a little sassy on there. I think somebody called me Chloe the other day, and I was like, well, praise God. I'm graduated from Caitlyn. You know, I'm Chloe
You're
today.
beautiful. You are beautiful. But I remember I had seen you before when you were the blonde with
Yeah.
the tutus and the glasses and stuff like that. And then when I saw you again, I was like, wait. Is this the same person? I had to go Google because I was like, this can't be the same person, but it was the same voice.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is her. And I was like, oh my God, she's had like a total, I don't like using the word glow up because I feel like everybody is where they want to be at
Yeah.
that point in their life. But I was like, she's had a total transformation
Yeah.
as far as she looks, you know?
I think this is what healing looks like.
Yeah.
Because I think we do such a bad job in Christianity.
Right.
Because I don't believe that you can be a healed person and be an ugly Christian.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen. Yes.
I don't believe that you can be the waiter's having a bad day and you're like sending your food back with one bite left.
Yeah.
And I just feel like this is what healing looks like. It made me
Softer.
softer. I don't feel like I have anything to prove. Like I can come sit on Bunnie's podcast and be 100% authentic and not be afraid of nothing because I know for a fact God's got my back.
Absolutely.
It's healed. Like I know I'm worth fighting for. I know that if with heaven split open tonight and I get before the Lord, I'm going to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant.
Yes.
Because I love his kids well.
No.
Was I perfect? No. But did I love his kids? And I think that's what matters to him more than anything.
Absolutely. Leading with
And so
love.
I think I healed.
Yeah.
And I
leading
think
with
this
love.
is healing.
I love it. You look good, Mama. I'm so excited for you.
And it's so funny because I don't look anything like people will literally because I have such a different following now.
Yeah,
from even
diverse for sure.
when I had the tutu.
Yeah.
You know, they don't even remember. Nobody even knows me in the tutu.
Yeah.
Because my whole following's changed so much.
Yeah,
Because my
it's crazy
preaching's changed.
how it goes in waves. So take me on your first sermon, and I'm really curious about this because we have so many people that want me to start going and speaking at places, and I am knock-kneed. Like, I sit me behind a microphone and one-on-one with you, I'm completely fine. But getting in front of people and like, how do you do it? Like, how did it feel to you to do that?
I'm just one of those people that just does stuff.
Yeah, I know, Miss Interior Designer.
You know, I'm nervous all the time because I need Jesus. I just always like, God, I can't believe you've allowed me to be here. But for me, it was, I remember I was about to do a conference. So listen, let me tell you how I got here. So I was coming out, walking through forgiveness. God told me I had to get up and walk away from that victim mentality that I was walking in, feeling sorry for myself.
Which I think is huge. That's a huge point to pick out because a lot of people don't like to say that they were victimizing themselves. And I don't think you can truly start growing as a human until you own the fact that you are a perpetual victim.
Because even if the pain you are feeling isn't your fault, the healing still is your responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
And you can't heal. I mean, we chose these people, so what was that? You know, so we did have a part to play in it.
Right.
We stayed way longer than we should have. What was that?
Yep.
And so I had to get there and realize that, you know, I mean, girl, I'm the queen of laying hands on myself. I'd be like, come out. I will. If I feel, I will lay hands on myself.
I would pay to see that. I would love to be around for one of those.
My mouth will get sad, so I'll be like, come out. But I remember it was when Facebook had a quiz and it was 25 things about me. And that's when everybody was going around telling about it. And I remember it was right in the beginning of my healing. I was probably 38. Mm-hmm. And I remember that the number one was, what's your favorite color? And I couldn't even tell you what my favorite color was. I was so broken. I mean, at this point I was coming out, you know, but I was still like, man, I don't even feel worthy of God's love. I don't feel worthy of a man's love. I've embarrassed my mother, my sons. And number 6 was, number 2 was, what's your favorite food? And I remember laying there that night crying so hard. And I was like, God, I don't even know who I am anymore. Because you lose yourself trying to get people to love you that were never supposed to love you. And you just attracted what you were and not what you wanted. And I was laying in that bed and I said, God, I need to know 25 things about me. That's good. And 7 days later, it was Mother's Day. And Lincoln Presley, my youngest, I'm 29 now. He walks up and hands me a poem that he's made that looks like a little girl with a dress, so feminine. And she had like a little tutu looking dress on. And she was so girly. And I just did not feel, I didn't feel soft. I didn't feel, you know. And the poem was 35 things that I love about you. Mm-hmm. And I remember reading those. It wasn't even 25. It was 35 things that I love about you, Mama. Oh. And number 1 said, I love you because you're the loudest one at my basketball games. Oh. That boy used to tell me, Bunnie, every time we'd be going to a game, he'd tell me, Mother, if you're loud, I'm never telling you again because you embarrass me. Because you're the loudest one here.
But he secretly loved it.
Then he gonna come tell me all these years later that I love you because you were the loudest one at my basketball games. It made me feel so loved. See, mamas, don't listen to them. And then number 6 was, I love you because you conquered hell in high heels. And man, girl, I cried like a baby and healed. So many layers came off me. So then I got invited to go preach. And it was a Kojic church. And
what kind of church is that?
Like it's where they shout like,
oh yeah,
like everybody does
get the
that.
rattlesnakes out and stuff.
And all you got to do is just say amen, and everybody's like, oh no. Right? Like you don't got to have a whole lot of anointing,
right?
Like you just got to walk up in there like you feel it,
right.
And so I was standing in the front of the mirror. I'd be like, and God, and He said, trying to learn how to hoop because I had already seen all the people speaking. They were all gonna hoop. They were all gonna lay hands on everybody in the whole place. And they had asked me to come preach off of a video in a car. And so I remember laying in my bed. I was like, oh my God. I didn't practice hooping. I didn't practice dancing. That left leg wasn't going to move. So we knew that wasn't going to work. This one would move, but that one wasn't going to move, So that shouting was discombobulated. And so I'm laying in my bed, and all of a sudden I remember that poem that Lincoln had made me and how that made me feel. And I was like, a tutu. Girl, I don't know where that came from because my body was not built for a tutu. Okay, I was probably 178 pounds, like 199 pounds at that moment, at that time. I've ordered me a tutu and go to this conference with a tutu, black tutu on, because I was scared of these people. And I knew that if I come in as something, that they're not going to judge my preaching because I'm going to already take them away.
Right.
They're just going to be like, whoa, look what just walked in. So I put me some combat boots on. I had a black tutu, and it was all because I was scared to death to preach. Did not even know what I was going to, scared. Had not heard from God yet. Like I'd been begging God to tell me what I was supposed to preach.
He left you hanging.
And so I had I remember like it was yesterday. I had on a black t-shirt with rhinestones that Cocker and Helen high heels. Girl, when I walked in that place, it was like the Holy Spirit took over. Like when I tell you, I preached a sermon that night called From Scars to Stars or something like that. Those women, I never had to lay hands on one person, which I was scared to death to do. I never had to lay hands on one person. I didn't even get to the sermon. I got up there and just started talking, just flowing about, God was just putting stuff in me about brokenness and healing and how much he loves you, daughter, and all this stuff. When I tell you that place was, everyone was just laid out weeping. Aww. And so from then I thought, well, there was a tutu. It was the tutu. The tutu.
Won them over.
That was it. When I walked in, it just won them over. And so then I just started wearing tutus. And I became like that little tutu preacher.
It was like your little uniform.
Yeah. It was my uniform.
But it set you apart from everybody.
Well, it set me apart, and they didn't have a whole lot of expectations. Right. Like it was like she's coming in a tutu, but we love who this is.
Right.
And I was allowed to say things like they were because, at that point, Twitter had already given me the name Real Talk Kim. Mm-hmm. And
was that how you got your name? Yes. Was from Twitter?
My name was taken. And they said Real Talk Kim, and I was like, yeah, I like that.
I love that.
And so TikTok gave me the name, and then Twitter. Then a year into me preaching, I got contacted to go on Oxygen and be Preachers of Atlanta because of my tutu.
I love that.
So I still to this day can't tell you really where that whole look. I mean, I shaved my head off. I would shave my head with my razor that I was cutting my legs with. And then I'd take lipstick and put it in my hair. And
are you a natural blonde?
I am white now.
Yeah, just
because
gray.
I'm 53.
Yeah. But naturally, are you a blonde? Yeah.
And so I, would bleach my own hair. Then I'd put all that color in it. But it was like that became a huge awakening for me because I learned how to preach in that season. But that tutu took me, it sounds so cliche, I guess, but it was almost like I felt like she was worthy of being there.
Yeah.
Because miracles took place when she walked in the room.
Yeah. That she served you for that season of your life. That's who you were.
We're talking about her like she's real.
I mean, she is. She's sitting in front of me right now. It's just a different version.
I was that way for 15 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lifetime.
Yeah.
That was, you guys, she got you started in this and you made a name for yourself while wearing that tutu.
Yeah.
So take me on. You ended up getting married again.
Yeah.
That was your third marriage.
Now, I did that before all of this.
So
I was still living with my mom and dad.
We're getting to Angelo. That's why we're going down we're getting to we saved the best for last.
The best for last.
So the third one ended up DMing you.
Okay. So I was living at my mom's. You know me. I was living at my mom's trying to get out. I was still in the parking lot drinking, partying. But I'm coming to Jesus. I'd already had the experience with the moment with him where we were like, God, I need to forgive. So I was really starting to preach. I haven't preached yet in a church, but I was singing now. And this man slips into my DMs, and he's 15 years older. And all I thought was, this man's gonna get me out of Belk. He's gonna get me out of Bloomingdale's. He's gonna get me out of my mama's house.
Because you still had that thought of a man's
I was never
going
to preach. Like that wasn't even an option. And now I'm at, I didn't even have the confidence to go start an interior design company.
Right.
So I'm stuck. So I got to marry somebody with money. And so I met him through Facebook and married him after meeting him twice.
It wasn't Facebook Marketplace, was it? No. Okay, good.
Can you believe I did that? You probably should have been. It could have been, actually.
Right.
But he slipped in my DMs and I married him, and it was hell. And that is when the windows of heaven opened over my life.
Yeah.
And I would still be married to him.
Because you try to make things work.
Oh, yeah. And ministry took off. And
was he a Christian too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
didn't walk it. He was the devil. It was like I married Satan and had to pretend I was happy.
Oh, no.
Liar, the biggest liar. I would look down in church and he'd be sitting there with his hands up in the air with tears rolling down his face. And I was like, when you get home, you're going to be the biggest devil on the planet.
Was he abusive?
Oh, no, but he was just mean as a snake.
I mean, that's just as worse. Verbal abuse. I'd rather take a punch to the face than emotional and verbal abuse.
And because God started taking me off, he would literally, when I would get done preaching, be like, that was the stupidest sermon. You don't know the word. People, they don't know who you are. And then he would talk about me behind my back to staff, like the horns came out.
You literally were sleeping with the enemy.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
So God caught him. I mean, I'd been married to him for 8 years. We were living completely different lives. I was on Preachers of Atlanta, and I think he was on like one show. He made everything hell for me. I think that was my last test, because I kept it together. I was at the feet of Jesus a lot, and I was not allowing that man to steal what God had given me. And so I fought like the last elephant on the ark.
That was the devil trying to take you down and just knock you off track again.
Because he was so horrible.
How did you guys end up splitting?
Well, I was preaching in Biloxi, Mississippi. And so when I met him, I wasn't preaching. Right. I didn't start preaching for 2 years after I met him. I was working at Belk and Bloomingdale in the process of that. And those videos started taking off, and then I started preaching. So when I met him, when I'm married again, I wasn't in ministry. So I was preaching in Biloxi, Mississippi, and it sounds like I'm making it okay. I got married again. I had to give you all the details.
Yeah, no. You're painting a picture.
So I'm in Biloxi, Mississippi, and some of my pastor friends called, and were like, Kim, we are so sorry. And I'm like, for what? They were like, you haven't been on social media? And I'm like, no. They said, well, your husband has been caught, and he is a cheater. I about fell over. This man acted like, though we didn't have nothing, he still acted like enamored with me,
right.
He loved the life I'd given him at that point. I was like, this old man, there's no way.
I saw a video of him. He was bald.
Was it?
Old. Like what? I didn't even understand. All right. You were doing charity work, Kim. Oh, I almost fell out of my bed last night when I saw a video of him. I was like, what?
I don't even tell people. Nobody can even find him.
I knew it was a low point in life for you. Okay. Just by the man that you had beside you.
All trying to get out of my mom and dad's house. Every time I even try to talk about Angelo's exes, he's like, you can't say nothing to me.
Angelo, I have your back on that one, because I was like, wait, what? When I saw this guy's shiny bald head sitting next to you, grandpa.
And he was horrible.
He was grandpa.
Like, if it,
for
okay
sure.
if he'd been nice.
Gramps.
You know, if he was he was Gramps.
It was Grams.
And he was not even a good Gramps.
I mean, and to be mean to you, like, come on, dude. Like, that's just, he
hated me.
Pick a struggle, okay?
He hated me. Like, I'm like, dude,
jealous.
you hate me.
He was jealous.
Oh, yeah,
of you.
he
was
would
jealous of your light. Your angels disturbed his demons.
Do you know how people, that's exactly right. Do you know how people bring us gifts? Because they love us. He would come in and throw those gifts. They don't know who you are. They'd come and take pictures of me out in public. He'd be like, we cannot take pictures out in public. Well, this man got busted. He was taking my jewelry to these women. He was going
God,
to hotels.
Who is hooking up with that?
My followers.
God,
It was my followers.
It's because it wasn't for him. It was for you, because some women have a thing where they want to be with the man that the woman that they look up to is with. It's a weird, sick dynamic that parasocial relationships have.
Well, her family found out and they were like, you're doing what with Real Talk Kim's husband? Because, I come across like, back then I was like, bye, Felicia. I've healed from that even.
She's still in there though.
Yeah, I mean, she's so in there. Like I fight for people like I did for her.
Yeah.
But I went online and all these people, he was standing there in a picture like this. And he had his hands crossed and people were like, does anybody know whose husband this is? They know whose husband that was.
They put him in one of those groups, huh?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
He was on all the blogs. Oh, no. And so they said, does anybody know whose husband? Everybody knew I'm sure they knew it was Real Talk Kim's, but they were trying to probably protect me too. Because they were, for the most part, people were pretty kind to me. And that boy had cheated on me and that woman's family had found out. And come to find out, he'd been married more than I knew.
No.
And all of his exes were reaching out to me saying, yes, finally, Real Talk Kim's going to take him down.
You're like, where were you guys at when we were married? Like, why didn't you guys warn me then?
They did.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, girl, they reached out to me on Facebook. They were like, run, don't be with this man. He is a devil. And Mimi was like, well, what's going to happen if he's like that? I'm like, well, just get divorced. I wasn't in ministry. I'm just going to keep taking my chances till I find this healer that's just going to come in and take care of me. And by this time, my dad's got dementia.
Aww.
So it was like he was like my savior. He got busted, and girl, I went by that church, threw that phone down on that sofa. I come back from Biloxi and went straight to that church. And I remember he laid his head down on that desk and said, I knew I was going to get caught.
Ugh. No.
And I was like, it is over.
I love that you had enough strength though to walk away and
Yeah.
you were just like, you know what? No, you're not going to do this anymore. So take me on that journey after you kick Gramps to the curb.
Well, I started, in this process too, I wrote books. I wrote 7 books.
Yeah.
And so I wrote the one book was Shut Hell Up. And that year I released that. And I think that's what gave me the courage, girl, was I get sick of people staying in these marriages with these people because God hates divorce.
Right.
But God loves the divorcee.
Isn't there a thing in the Bible though that says that when a man is unfaithful to a woman that
Yes.
he wants you to leave?
Yes.
Okay.
But who cares? Like,
Right.
even if you're in a marriage, and I get strong for this.
Yeah.
I get dragged.
Unhappiness.
But God doesn't expect you to stay in a relationship where y'all are killing each other.
Right. Exactly.
And I think so many of us do that. Why would I stay in a relationship with this man that was not nice to me, pretending that everything was so great and hating my life because I was afraid I was going to lose my ministry if we got divorced, because that was going to be third.
And how could you preach to your full potential when you're literally being just
I did it.
drugged down at home?
Girl, I remember during the pandemic, it was right when the pandemic had started, and I started Live at Nines. And I did Live at Nines because he had been busted and he wouldn't get out of my house. And he said, I'm not getting out of that house unless you give me X, Y, Z. And I was like, over my dead body. I was like,
Oh, he sounds like a real peach, this guy.
He was filling his truck up when I was traveling. And it was bad. And the devil was really trying to make me hate.
Trying to break
because
you
I
down.
could ruin
Because you
some
were
people.
doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
So he was coming at you with daggers from every angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wrote that book, Shut Hell Up. And I started doing live at nights, and you can hear in the back him slamming cabinets and stuff. And then getting up in church and worshiping and stuff. So you know what that was too? That was a trigger from what I'd been raised in. So it was like right before my major push, God puts another Pharisaical fake phony in my house. And it was like, I had a last encounter of, Kim, you got to get all that junk off of you. Like you got to fall head over heels and stop trying to handle things with your mouth. And so I remember I wrote that book, started doing live at nines, and I did a sermon called Morning Move. And that morning move is what caused me to really find that I can preach. It don't matter what I've walked through. I'm gonna walk through this. Lost my daddy 3 months later to dementia. I'd already taken over the church 3 years before that. So my dad had been, a part of he got to see
the transition.
He was my biggest cheerleader. And so I had full redemption on all areas. But I had written my 6th book, which was so huge for me because I was in special ed my whole life. And literally on a short bus. And it was like that 6th book, Shut Hell Up, was me finally speaking out of my mouth. Never again will we allow those triggers. Never again. Because in the book, I had to break down what are triggers. Why do we keep falling in love with the same people with different faces? Why do we stay in situations because we're afraid of people in a free app? Why do we? And so I was breaking all this down, and I was walking through breaking soul ties, breaking generational curses. So I was walking through it as well.
Yes.
And in that process, our church just began to explode. I was so fulfilled. My daddy died. I whipped my mama up, my little 72-year-old mama that had never lived. She had literally for the last 5 years taken care of my dad, like was a little boy. He would run away and we have to go find him. That's how bad he was. And I saw my mom go into the grief, and I just whipped her up, took her on the road with me, watched her evolve. I watched her write a book at 72, sleeping with a stranger. I watched her glow up. Me and her both started glowing up.
Oh, you're going up with your mama.
I sold my house that I was living in Fayetteville, the first house that I'd ever lived alone. Like I'd always lived with a man and my husband's. And I lived there for 5 years by myself.
Look at you.
And I just took hold of my life and never looked back.
You fell in love with yourself. You fell in love with yourself, and you started a relationship with yourself, and you started discovering who you were, so that now that you enter into this relationship, you can be a whole.
Yeah. I remember selling my house, and it was such a scary thing for me because I'm doing all these things women couldn't do for the Christianity. And I told God, I was like, man, I feel like I want to move downtown and live in a high rise. But why? There's nobody down there. My church is 5 minutes away. And I said, God, if this is you, because I'm now for Jesus like I was in the world,
right.
Like we're doing this doggone thing. Like I ain't scared. I'll start a building tomorrow. I'll start a business, but it's all for good now. And I said, God, if it's your will for me to sell this house, you'll sell it in 7 days. And I want to make $250,000. I want all my money back that man got. Girl, with the first 17 people walked in that house, and they all put bids on my house.
Wow.
And I walked out of there with more than I'd asked for. And then I had to go downtown and find this house. And I told God exactly what I wanted. I found the exact condo. And 5 minutes down the road is where I met my husband. I would have never met him if I wouldn't have moved
Can
down.
we bring Angelo in? I know you guys don't do a lot of
Come here,
podcasts.
you
Get
gorgeous
over
man.
here. We got a microphone for you too. You have to come over.
Hey, do y'all hear me talking about him in church? How slowly? Y'all get to witness it.
That's how my best friend Monica is. She takes forever to get out of the car. I'm like, I start a countdown every time I get out of the car and I'm already at the door, and I'm like, all right, Mo, let's go.
I love it. Cause
Yeah, come on down. We got to put a face
Sit as
with
close as you can.
Yeah, we got to put a face with the name. Oh yeah, he's over here snoring. He's over here snoring.
Oh, put me to sleep.
You know what? I think that what you and I are experiencing with the freedom of just living life and being able to do all these great things, you and Jelly,
Thank you. Yeah.
you know, is that y'all minister and don't even know it, but now I know why. Like it totally makes sense to me. It makes me want to read your book even more.
Oh, I appreciate that. I downloaded your book last night. I haven't. I forget which one.
I
it
got
is. The
you
pink
a
one.
whole bag coming.
Oh, you do?
I got you Bible Baddie.
Yay!
I've got you
I'm
God's
so
Girl.
excited.
Everything
I'll
from my
read 'em.
store is coming.
I love it. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. We'll get you some merch too. We're about to drop merch as soon as I'm done with this podcast.
When
We're
is your
dropping.
book?
My book comes out February 17th now. We pushed it to February 17th, but 2026, and we're doing a whole book tour. Like it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
I love it.
Angelo,
This is my sweet Angelo.
welcome to the show.
I love this man. So I met him at right down the street.
Let's just say I replace all three of them.
Yo, listen, when you walked in the room,
all
I
three of
felt the alpha male energy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is Big Papa. Big Papa just walked in.
Oh my
He's
God,
got his
I love
Louis
you.
Vuitton suit on. Like, you guys are just a stylish little couple. I love this
love
so
you.
much. And I love how much, because you remind me of me. Anytime I talk
Yeah.
about my husband, I just light up and I smile and I just like you. It's like you can't fake that. Like, you're
It's because
really
they've
in
showed
love.
us what we've always wanted.
Exactly. He's your safe space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know this man would he likes to smoke.
Yeah.
And he will fight for me, you know? And that's why you're like that with Jelly Roll too, because
Oh, I'm so protective over him. I go
God,
to
they
bat.
love us.
I'm always in the headlines for sticking up for him. I stuck up for him so much that my husband told me, please stop sticking up for me. He was like, you don't have to do that anymore.
You have to do that.
I love that.
He's like, I know you love me. He's like, let people say what they're going to say. You can't throw it. What
How
did he
long
say?
y'all been married?
10, it'll be 10 years in August. So 9 years. We've known each other 10 years, married 9 years.
I love that.
Yeah, he's my baby. So you guys met. Tell me all about this.
So I went out to eat on a Sunday night.
I love that he's kind of shy.
Well, I mean, it's different from being at home on our podcast because I kind of take over, so I don't want to just take over since we're here.
Oh, gotcha.
Since
I
we're
mean,
here.
please
Yeah.
take over. We
Yeah.
want to hear you talk
He
too.
is shy about it.
I see him rubbing his knee over
Yeah,
there.
well,
He's a
yeah.
little shy.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of him because he's come in my world and
love
he's
it.
killing it, you know?
No.
I mean, it's kind of like, you like this guy and you're a guy that's coming from the neighborhood and we talking on a podcast. My friends talk on podcasts, they talking sports.
But you've had to learn about Jesus.
Where are you from,
Yeah.
Angelo? Where are you
Yeah.
from? Like,
I'm from
what's your
Jacksonville,
background?
Florida.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of was different. And I was just watching her on this podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I see them talking, her mom and stuff. And I came out really kind of in a jumpsuit, all white. I said, I'm ready. You just put me in here. She said, come sit down. I said, you sure? She said, yeah. I said, well, make sure they don't see my socks.
We can't see your socks here either. But
And
they
that's
are
where
nice socks.
and that just broke him in.
And the first thing I saw when I go and look at the podcast
Was your socks?
was my socks.
Oh no, they didn't zoom in.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa.
I can promise you no socks in this
Yeah.
podcast.
But I'm fresh to death now. You can show me from all the way. I'm fresh to death right now. I mean,
love
it's
it.
different. It's
I love
different.
it. I love it.
I'm just so thankful, man, that I get to love like this in
So-
my 50s.
I've gotten to hear how she feels about you. I want to hear what it was like
Tell
for
us,
you when you first met her.
When we met outside of the garden area at the St. Regis. And she was eating with her brother and his wife. And I heard the voice all the way over here, with some guys. And let me make a detour, the bathroom behind me. I'm going to go back this way where I can see what she looked like because I hear the voice. And
Were you attracted to the voice?
yes, I was.
I love that.
I was attracted to the voice and stuff. It wasn't like Phyllis Dillis or nothing like this. The
Right.
voice loud, it wasn't that loud,
Right.
He said, I was a little aggressive.
But I heard the voice. I said, let me kind of go over here and look. Okay, and she got this big patch of Gucci jacket on. And
I
stuff.
made these, I just, this is like my.
But she had
so I had a Gucci jacket.
She had a whole Gucci sweatsuit. Okay. Ooh, okay, well, the white girl got a little fresh on it. Got a little style. I'm in the ATL. Like, we see what swag look like.
Yeah. No, you guys are swagged out there.
Yeah, we see it. So and I'm hearing the voice, and I say, well, and I walk past, and I'm like, okay, hey, those wings, taste real good. I guess I was kind of like dropping my little line. It was like it was weak and stuff.
It was weak.
I love that though. No, I didn't think that was weak at all. Like
It
at
was
least
weak.
it worked.
But I'm
It
here.
worked, but not then.
But I'm here.
Listen to this.
I'm here because her brother's here, and I just like, okay, and I just went to the bathroom, and I came back, and she was like, yeah, they are good, and I'm like, okay. 3 months later, now we back at the same place. A friend of mine asked me, hey, you want to hang out? Like, okay, well, yeah, I'm thinking about it. And it was about 2 hours. He's like, man, this guy don't stood me up. I'm going on my own now. And I meet him there, and I'm looking at the corner of my eyes, and I'm sitting here by this fireplace, and he gets up. Let me go ask him, see if they like the fireplace. And I'm like, man, why is he messing with these people? And I looked over the corner of my eyes, and I can see her. And she turned around and looked, and all I see of her face like, and I could read her mind.
I was so excited.
I could read her mind.
Had you thought about him after that first initial
I
meeting?
had never dated a black man in my life.
Yeah.
But you
All of a sudden, I see this black man. I'm like, yes, I thought of him.
No, answer the question.
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
He's like, I would like
But
to
I was
know.
raised. No, I was raised though.
No, was you thinking about me?
And he made me
Was
think
you
about
thinking
him.
about me?
Yeah.
Because I only say the wings.
I just saw this thing.
You guys had, after the wing comment, you guys had never talked,
never
text,
talked. I
nothing.
never gave no
you guys
number.
went separate ways.
And I remember
Nothing.
telling my brother, I said, that is a good looking man right there. Look how big he is.
Aw.
And I started working out.
But
I thought if I'm gonna get somebody like him, I gotta get myself snatched.
But this is a place where, it's a Friday night, people out, you see women all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You see from Atlanta housewife, whoever it is,
absolutely.
from this people there, and you get hit on. So I'm used to that type, but I wasn't used to that. It was just kind of like, okay, it was like my little line, and it must be work. So I saw her face, and I'm like, okay.
And then I scooted
Were
over.
you still
and I
in
did,
were you still in the tutus and the blonde
Oh
hair?
no.
Oh, no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
This was only 3 years ago.
Oh, no.
He said no.
So I retired my tutus when I took over our church.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'm going to be pastor in 6 years.
No,
Okay.
She was kind of like in the Mrs. Brady like type though. Like, not like
Not the Florence Henderson.
yeah. She had a little bit of that going on. So I said, and we started. It was and so actually I got up, and my friend he already on parlay over here.
Yeah.
So I got up and I'm like, well, let me come over here and stuff. And she said, you can sit right here. She said,
Kim was not shy.
yeah, she
But I was shy.
Oh no,
but, not,
she was like,
but I wouldn't let him get away this
she
time.
like, she said you can sit right here.
Like I would call Chachi.
And,
Yes, Chachi.
And I was like, okay. I said, and
I got real. I was like, girl, you got to learn how to flirt. Like, I ain't never known how to flirt in my life. But I was like, we can't let him get away.
Oh.
I said, you must have got.
And this ain't church.
And I was asking, I said, well, I guess
So you couldn't hide behind the pulpit.
Hide behind the pulpit.
And I was like, you seem like you tall. You got long legs or something. I don't know.
I said, yes, I got long legs.
I love this.
and then we talked, man, for 4 hours.
Aww.
And we talked. I think we talked. You gave me your number. She said, put my number in your phone.
And then you sent me
That's
a
Real
video.
Talk Kim. I said, you real proud of yourself, eh? Real Talk
But
Kim.
I knew he'd go find me.
And because I didn't worry about social media and stuff. I'm like, I'm
did?
the real deal when I go outside of this social media. People that go out, people that's on social media come out. They're not the real deal.
Angelo's an OG.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm the real deal in live person. No matter if it's, I don't care who it is. I'm gonna fit in that room. Yeah. And I'm gonna be the realest one that's in there. No matter what they got going on in their life, their bank account is gone. They not real.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
I knew. So I didn't pay attention to social media.
Right.
I had a business website that I was only brokering high-end cars.
Right.
I didn't want to play no games or DM. I didn't know what a DM was.
So you didn't give him your number. You only gave him your
I
social.
gave him my phone number too.
Oh,
He sent me Drew Hill Beauty
Aw.
before I went to bed.
Aw, look
Yeah.
at you.
And that next morning, he popped on my prayer call, and I saw him.
I was like, wow.
He found me, Real Talk. That's why I said Real Talk Kim.
And when I say Real Talk Kim, I was
What
like,
did you think of when you went on social media?
I got up, I was on her live, and I'm like, I'm hearing people talking. I'm like, man. Well, it was I think I caught it the next day after that. And I was like, man, this is kind of trashy. People talking back and forth, disrespectful. And then I woke up that morning and got on the live. They were saying her nose. I said, man, I told her like that. I love your nose.
Like, your nose is so big. It sent me a nose. I like your nose.
I love your nose. And I'm giving these. So she like, thanks for the hearts. So I'm thinking like, let me give some hearts. And I didn't know that was taking my money.
God.
I didn't know that was taking money out of my bank account.
He's like, give them back.
I'm like, whoa.
Give me the hearts back.
I was like, all the hearts and stuff. I'm like, filling all the hearts up and stuff. And like a month later, I'm looking at, man, these things.
That is so funny.
Like social media out of Apple. I'm like, I ain't bought anything. You know what I'm like?
I love that.
I'm like, man, so I don't know if I want to go to her church because these hearts are already getting expensive.
I already put in offering. This was my offering.
I'm like, now, you know you belong, hey, from me.
And then he said he told a friend about a preacher lady he met, and the man said, run. Don't you take all your money?
To me, it's like me buying her a drink. I don't gave you my heart. She kind of like belong to me now. If you buy somebody a drink, you know, now she like belong to me. So.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love that. And so it was after that.
He showed up at my church and did not tell me on Sunday. And we were packed. Our church is, God really has blessed us. So you can't find places to sit.
Well, she really didn't tell me she was a preacher
I did.
while we was sitting.
She said, I did.
No. Back up. She didn't tell me she was a preacher.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I wanted him to like me first.
She didn't tell-
I was like, he gonna run if he knows I'm a preacher.
She just told me come to her church. You know, her church. She do have. You know, come
Oh,
to,
so
come
you
to,
thought you were
every
showing
woman say
up.
come to my church.
So you thought you guys were going to be sitting in the pew together. You didn't know that she was going to be the one
I've been
preaching.
invited to a lot of women say come to my church. It ain't gay church. That's TD Jakes'
Baby,
church, right?
yeah.
You shouldn't say well, you didn't even say my dad. And someone will tell you my daddy is the preacher.
Right.
So I know I ain't going.
Right.
I ain't dealing with the daddy and the
Yeah.
church, and he's the pastor. So there's no way. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll be there. And I'm
But he
thinking,
did not tell me.
yeah. So I'm thinking like, she said, well, we got probably 2 services. I said, I know I ain't gonna come to all 3 of them.
Or two, I said, at three.
3 services. I
Especially
said,
after the hearts.
Oh no.
You're getting limited time,
Oh,
honey.
yeah. So it was something about, you know.
But when you walked in,
When you walk in and see her preaching, how does that make you feel? Are you like, oh my God?
the church was packed.
Wow.
Church was packed. Walked in, they greeted me, and I always would tell the staff that now. When I walked in, they greeted me, and it was like, man, it's like this church. It seemed like everybody had their eyes on me and stuff, and it's kind of like dark in there too. So you got to think, and these girls was behind me, and they was like, can you sit down here? Is there some seats there? So I followed them. Okay, well, I'm sitting next to them.
and he walks up front because we put new seats up here
Yeah.
because we were just trying to shove people in. I saw this man walk out, about passed out.
They thought they had the best seat, and then one of your staff member came.
Because I saw you, I was like, oh no, he got to move.
They came and got me and like put me over here. Like, I guess I'll see y'all next.
I'm going to VIP.
I'm going to the VIP.
He said, I'm going to VIP,
I'm
baby.
over here to the upper room over here.
Hey, y'all, my mother reached over to me and she goes, who is that? And I said, I've been talking to him. I met him at a restaurant. And she goes, Kimberly, this is the Super Bowl Sunday of Christianity.
It was Easter. Yeah.
Don't let him distract you.
I love mom.
Oh my gosh.
I love Mom.
She was like, don't you let that man distract you. You got to give him Jesus.
And did you give him Jesus?
Girl, I gave him Jesus. I probably preached one of my best sermons, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
It was like,
She haven't even preached no more since then. Since I was like,
Are you kidding me? Don't you say that.
No.
But I tell you, this man loves. Look, he.
We got to go back dating again or something.
You got to scare her.
He
Just
could even
pop
tell
up
me
on
what I
her.
preached that Sunday. Like
Yeah, Jesus in the
Lazarus coming forth.
and I just saw her, and it seemed like the praise team, the drummer just got louder. Boom, 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 and she had these 6
I was
inch,
jumping out of the tube.
She had
you know?
these 6-inch heels jumping out of the tube.
You liked it, huh?
Yeah, that's it. It was so crazy that me and my sister always go
love that,
to this
baby.
restaurant for Easter.
I love that he's remembering all these like
Me
little
too.
things. Like that is really sweet.
Because I haven't heard this.
It was so crazy that me and my sister always go for
need to
Easter
shut
to
up.
this dinner,
Right.
and I canceled at the last minute. She called. She said, "We still going to dinner?" I said, "No, I'm just going. I don't want to go." So I ate dinner with her and her mom on Easter.
And my sons.
Yeah,
Like, was that not crazy?
yeah.
And you guys have been together ever since?
And now my sister, I don't have time for her anymore.
You got to just invite sister to the dinners now.
So
Just
I
bring her
would
over.
listen. I remember when he started coming, and my mother, me and my mom were driving to church about a week after that, and she said, "Kim, I want to tell you something." And I said, "What?" She said, "Let this man be him. Don't you try to change this man."
Mom
Don't you-
loved him.
Loved him. She said, "Don't you let nobody try to make him a preacher. Don't you make him come to your church. If he wants to come, he can. When he wants to, he can. But you let this man just see where it goes.
Yeah.
And let him be." And I did. And now he's running the church 3 years later.
Aw, look at you. I love this. I love and I love happy endings. And for you to be her happy ending, you must be something special.
I'm just so thankful, Bunnie.
Yeah.
I'm
And I'm
so
sure he's
thankful.
thankful for you too.
I think the thing is with any guy, he want to know what it looked like before he get into it.
Right. Yes.
And any guys that jump into any marriage, then they're gonna keep jumping into marriage. And I was thinking when I was watching her preach, I would go watch this pastor that I always used to watch. And because this was almost like a year after COVID, and people took a while for them to start getting back going into churches. So I would watch her. Then I was close out, watch her for a minute. And I always was watching how things was looking.
Right.
And now kind of, you're looking on the outside, now you're in the inside. So how do you
He's fixed it all. Everything
Yeah.
he thought needed to be fixed, he's come in and helped fix it.
how do you want to better
But
your
that's-
church and better your community?
That's a teammate though. That's two people that can come together, and you can always tell when a couple is good for each other because they evolve
Yeah.
and they level up. That's exactly what my husband, sorry, there's hair flying everywhere from my dog. That's exactly what Jay and I have done in the past 10 years that we've been together is literally we don't stay the same each year. We level up.
have to.
You have to. That is so important in a relationship because when you
Yes.
stay the same, that's when.
And I feel like it's rare.
yes, it
I
is.
feel like people don't just let their spouses be them. It's like you try to change them.
no, you can't. You can't
And
do that.
You got to grow together, and the only way they're going to grow is that they feel freedom to do that.
Absolutely. And you want to be a safe space. And if you're nagging at a man constantly, or if a man is nagging you,
Yeah.
nobody wants to be told
No.
that they're doing wrong all the time or that they need to be somebody that they're genuinely not. But when you pour love into that relationship, it just blossoms.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for you
And look at
guys.
us.
Look at you guys now.
I remember he told me whenever we were dating, it was probably 6-7 months. He said, "You need to do something to your hair."
No.
And I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "You need to get a style." And I'm like, "I'm white. White people don't get styles." He says, "Yes, they do." And I remember one day on my prayer call, I said, "Y'all, wigs, what do I do?"
Yeah.
Because I'm in this in between stage. I found out women are the ones that started wigs. White women are the ones that started wigs and extensions
Really? I had no idea about that.
before anybody.
Wow.
And so I went and got me extensions
I ain't
and
never
Yeah.
seen them, but
and glowed up for him. And now I love it. We work out together. I didn't go to a gym till I was
He's your
50.
best friend.
Yes.
You guys are best friends. And that's a huge, huge testament to you guys' relationship.
well, I figure we'll change for each other. It's certain clothes that I probably never even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never like.
I love this. I thought when he walked in, I was like, this is something I would wear with heels. Like, I think it's so cute.
Yeah, I would be.
I'll send you one of those.
I love it. I'll pay
wide
you for
legs.
it.
I was like, no, I'm not gonna put this on. Because I was still just old school with it.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, man, now when you start feeling it, then I kind of just she'll drip some of it. Now I can drip myself. She could drip a little, then I drip with her, and then I just kind of she was working out, so now I introduce her. Went to the gym and kind of working out a little bit.
Girl, I had
too.
bat wings. I was like fat, just
Did you do it
saggy.
all natural or did you use GLP-1? And
all
also,
natural.
Yeah, good for you.
But it's been 72 pounds over 4 years.
Oh yeah, no, it's let me tell you something about fat loss. It is a slow process, and nobody tells you.
And
about
I would
that.
do GLP. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm not scared
I'm
of it.
about to get on it. I don't
I
even
ain't
care.
scared of it. I would do it in a heartbeat.
Me too.
If I was having trouble, I would do it. So anybody out there struggling, do what you need to do.
do what you need to do.
Don't let nobody tell you nothing else.
Angelo, I'm so happy you came and sat down with us. You are so
Me
sweet.
too.
Kim,
Thank you.
I have held you for what, almost 3 hours?
No.
Has it been 2 hours? Almost 2.5 hours that we have been talking. And
So y'all cut a bunch of that out.
I could sit here and talk to you forever.
Really?
Yeah, I could sit here and talk to you forever.
I talked about stuff I ain't talked about.
I want you to come back though, because I didn't get to talk to you about everything. Like I want to sit down with you and kind of really pick your brain and like get questions from people. Cause there's so many people. I feel like God is making a movement on the world right now.
Big time.
And I feel like there's so many people out there that want to change and don't know how.
Yeah.
And I think maybe maybe we'll come to Atlanta and I'll rent a studio and we'll sit down and I'll just pick your brain and we'll just talk.
We could do it in my penthouse.
Okay. I would love
about
to.
the elementary stuff because we don't know about half of the stuff happened with.
But
Her. She was shying away from this. I kind of wanted to hear it too.
Yeah.
It's like your childhood and
I know. I don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Because
I kept trying to pull her
you
in.
makes
I
him
kept
feel
trying.
disrespectful.
No. I'm not disrespectful. It doesn't. You're doing a good
But
job.
maybe there's something there.
No, you doing some when you throwing those daggers like that, and so that's what you want. And it ain't really about who you was married to because they don't define you.
Not at all.
But when you pull in and say, hey, what happened in 10th grade? What happened in the 6th grade?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
And I remember.
It's a lot of women that's fighting, that's hiding it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's something there.
Well, we definitely need a part 2.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come out and
ATL.
visit you. Yeah. We'll come to you guys.
I would love that.
Yeah,
And then
we'll
we
come
can
to you
even,
guys.
because there's so many people looking for God. And I think it was important for us to tell this part because you can look at my life and see my fruit.
Yeah,
Outlives
absolutely.
every lie ever spoken about me.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that God doesn't write you off. He's waiting for you with arms wide open. He's not a mean God. You and I are proving that to these people.
Yes.
6 speed or 10 speed?
And so, what?
6 speed or 10 speed?
For what?
Bicycle that you had when you was a kid.
Oh, now you're going to try to be a therapist?
Angelo, that's for part 2.
Yeah.
We're going to sit
That's
down with you for part 2.
And I'm going to get all in it because I do skip over it. I'm going to be praying about it.
Yeah. No, pray about it. And
Yeah.
when you're ready, let's talk about it. Because it's my job to try to pull it out of you, but it's also your job to talk about it when you're ready. And nobody can force you to talk about stuff you don't want to talk about.
I'm definitely not afraid to talk about it. I think you're right. I think there was just so much so I would definitely talk about it.
Yeah.
It
we'll
could
do
have
part
been,
2.
it could even have been when we came out of United Pentecostal and it was a trigger because all of a sudden we could do everything that we were told we couldn't do.
Yeah.
And then 250 people walked out of our church. Mm-hmm. And so that probably was where I just wiped right on over it.
I feel like when you're under a thumb and under a microscope at such a young age also, you get to a point where you just don't, it's degaff. You do not give a, and you're just like, let's roll. I'm ready to do whatever I wasn't allowed to do and what I was told not to do.
Yeah.
So I think you did what every child who has ever had religious trauma did. But the cool thing about it is you were able to pull yourself out of it. And look at you now, you've written 7
and
books.
my babies work I got 2 sons. They work in church with me.
I mean, that's amazing.
Like everything that should have been horrible, God turned it around and he'll do it for everybody.
Tell everybody where they can find you if they want to go to your church. If you have any online stuff that people can watch every Sunday, stuff like that, just shout it all out.
Y'all listen, come to, if you live in Atlanta, Georgia, Limitless Church, 1653 Highway 85 South, Fayetteville, Georgia, 30215. We're there every Sunday, 10 and 11:30. And y'all, everybody come. You are welcome. You're going to feel so loved. And if you can't make it to Atlanta, into our physical building, it's across from Whitewater High School in Fayetteville, so that's your mile marker. But if you can't make it in the building, we have live streaming on my Real Talk Kim YouTube channel every Sunday, 10 and 11:30.
Yay.
And so you can watch it. And then you can find me on realtalkkim.com, which is my website. And I have a store. I have great books. I got 7 great books.
7 books.
That will help you
I
get
wrote
unstuck.
1. I can't even imagine writing 7.
All my books, too, are about getting unstuck.
Ooh,
Every single book is giving you,
you're a savage.
listen, get unstuck because of what I just talked about.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've walked through all of that, and every book is about different seasons in there.
I love that. Angelo, what about you? Do you have social media?
Well,
Real Talk Kim.
Real Talk Kim.
I love it. Her biggest supporter.
Real Talk
He
Kim.
said he don't want people fighting. He's not want your crazy friends fighting me.
No, you do not. You don't want the interwebs on there. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I
Thank you.
appreciate
love
you so much. I love you back. And I hope this
we
is
have
the
a
beginning-
podcast.
Oh, shout
We're
that
on a
out.
podcast. We have a podcast that's on all over, all social medias, Real Talk Kim as well. And he's on there with me.
That's when they'll find me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's on all my podcasts.
I love it. Thank you guys so
I
much
love
for coming.
you.
I love you too. And this is the beginning of a friendship, and I'm just so excited to
thankful.
see where it goes. I'm so
And I
thankful
love
too.
this. You're a little Bible baddie with me now.
No, I love
in
the
the
Bible
world.
baddie. I love that. We want one of my books to be called the Bunnie Bible. So
I love it.
I love that.
Bunnie Bible.
Aw, thank you guys for coming, and thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Dumb Blonde. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.